Oh my. Okay, now my microphone's working, and now where's my freaking camera? Holy shit. This is not going well. Well, it's a late night stream anyway. Okay. Let me deactivate and reactivate my camera. Can you guys hear me now? Can chat hear me now? Oh yeah, I was all right, perfect. Anyway, holy shit. So yeah, I haven't been streaming lately, but there's a lot of stuff to get through. So the first thing that I really want to talk about, which is interesting, I mean, we can talk about Ethan Klein for sure, and we're going to, but I think that this is a really important story, where you have the Supreme Court ordering the White House to facilitate the return of the guy's name is Kilmar. He is a United States. I don't know. I don't know if he's a legal. I think he's a legal permanent resident, and he has a judge's order to not be deported, like specifically to not be deported. And the Trump regime just deported him anyway. They're like, I don't care. We're going to deport you. Like, we don't want you in this country. They said it was a mistake. Judges are ordering the Trump regime to return the guy from the CSOT prison in El Salvador back to the United States, and the Trump regime is just like, no, we don't want to. Went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court just ruled 9-0 that they're like, no, you have to follow these court rulings. So let's just read a little bit about this. The states are crazy. 9-0. That's the thing. It's a 9-0 ruling. And the Supreme Court is interesting. Even though it does have a bunch of conservatives on the court, they are like a different breed of conservatives. And as a lifetime appointees, they're almost like removed entirely from the actual conservative party, which has coalesced behind the cult of Donald Trump. Um, like the judges on the Supreme Court that are conservative, they value their power more than anything else, basically. And if they are going to undermine themselves by basically saying, like, no, the Trump regime can do whatever they want, that is giving up their power. So in a sense, they're caught between a rock and a hard place where they want to appease Trump because they don't want to piss Trump off too much where he's just going to blatantly disregard what they say. But at the same time, they can't just roll over because then they're pulling their own teeth out. They're defanging themselves and making themselves impotent. So they need to walk this tightrope, essentially, basically allowing Trump to do enough where he doesn't blatantly disregard what they say, and they can still pretend like they have some control over the country. And while not being pushed too far and just making themselves irrelevant. So it's really interesting. So let's read what this article is. Justice Department sharply criticizes judge who blocked enforcement of an order targeting a law. Oh, this is a law firm. That's not what I was reading. Yeah, I wanted to see this. This is going to be paywalled, isn't it? Yeah, the New York Times. This is the Department of Justice. His name is like Kilmar. Sir Clarence Tommy Boy. Do you think he's alive? Is there proof of life? I think he's alive. I mean, he's been there when? How long has he been there? Like it was crazy to me though that the judges or the DOJ said, "Oh, what really matters is he's probably not going to be murdered and tortured at CSOT." Kilmar Abrego Garcia was mistakenly deported. In a tense hearing, DOJ wouldn't say where he is. What happens next? Less than a day after the Supreme Court said the Trump administration had to facilitate the return of a man mistakenly deported to El Salvador. What the? I don't know why that started playing. During a tense hearing before U.S. District Judge Paula Zinnis on Friday afternoon, Justice Department attorney Drew Ensign repeatedly stonewalled the judge as she sought to nail down details about the steps the administration is taking to secure the return of Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, at one point even admitting he had no information to provide on exactly where the Maryland father of three currently is. He specifically was seeking protection from El Salvador. Yeah. I think they may just say they can't if he is already dead/tortured. He was put in the prison with the literal people he wanted asylum from in the US. Has anyone talked to this man? Well, that's the thing. I mean, the whole purpose of putting people into that prison in El Salvador is that the media can't get access to them. And basically, it's a black site for Trump to just dump whoever he wants there. And they're completely removed from the media. It allows him to get away with doing no due process to any of these people. He's no longer responsible for actually proving that any of these people are criminals or have their immigration status that warrants being deported. He can just do whatever he wants. And the point is to get rid of any kind of scrutiny on his actions. And this is really dark. So this is what we're going to see. It's not going to be open. It's not going to be like open violations of court orders, but it's going to be obfuscating and delaying and just trying to cite their own inadequacies and saying that they're not going to be like effective enough to follow these court orders. It's the exact same thing with that judge that demanded the planes that were deporting those Tren de Aragua, those apparent Tren de Aragua prisoners to El Salvador. The judge ordered them to return. And they're like, oh, well, they were already in the sky, so we couldn't turn it around. It's going to be the same thing with this. There's going to be judges' orders passed down, and the Trump administration is going to be like, oh, well, we're trying to follow them, but like we can't really do it because of this. So let's just see what this is. He stonewalled the judge as she sought to nail down details about the steps the administration is taking to secure the return of Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia. At one point, even admitting that he had no information to provide on exactly where the Maryland father of three currently is. I'm not asking for state secrets, Zinnis said after Ensign told her he didn't have basic details on where Abrego Garcia is. I'm asking a very simple question. Where is he? There's no evidence today as to where he is today, the judge said later. That is extremely troubling. Zinnis on Friday ordered the Justice Department to provide daily updates on what the administration is doing to facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia, but it remains unclear whether the reports would prove satisfactory to either the court or the lawyers representing Abrego Garcia and his family. The judge did not say what would happen if she didn't like the answers. Here's what to know about the case. So, mistaken deportation. Trump says he would bring Abrego Garcia back if Supreme Court ordered it. Asked about Judge Zinnis and her order earlier Friday, Trump said, well, I'm not talking about the lower court. I have great respect for the Supreme Court. Trump told reporters, I don't know which one, appearing to concede that he was not familiar with the details of this specific case. But if they said to bring him back, I would tell them to bring him back. The president's comments appear directly at odds with what the Justice Department attorney argued in Maryland earlier in the day. What did the Justice Department argue in Maryland? They needed more time to provide the sworn declaration. I know, honestly, like, it doesn't even matter. Like, this administration is so fucking all over the place with their justifications for their actions. Like, they have no justifications. Will Abrego Garcia's lawyers try to force compliance? While Zinnis' homework for attorneys representing Abrego Garcia did not include daily court filings, she told them they are free to inform her of the harms they think are continuing in the case, as well as any relief they might ask for if they think the government isn't complying with her order. But the judge stopped short of agreeing to quickly issue a follow-up order requiring the government's compliance with her earlier directive, indicating that she instead preferred Abrego Garcia's attorneys to request such an order if they saw fit. The court's order was sufficiently clear. Simon Sandoval-Moschenberg, one of Abrego Garcia's attorneys, told the judge at one point. They clearly didn't comply. Sandoval-Moschenberg also lambasted what he saw as the administration's decision to send a lawyer to the hearing who has no personal knowledge on the status of Abrego Garcia. Okay, so what are they going to do next? The DOJ attorney who appeared before Zinnis on behalf of the administration expressed frustration at not being able to answer key questions from the judge. Anyway, so yeah, basically the Trump administration is just like, we don't know where the guy is and we have no information on, which is just crazy. But yeah, it's not surprising. And the reason why this is important is because this is a breaking point. The Trump administration has been basically appeal, delay on all of these court cases that have been like matriculating through our justice system. And finally, the buck stops at the Supreme Court. So either the Trump administration has nowhere else to appeal this to. So either they're going to ignore these court orders and they're going to ignore them through basically like soft ignoring it, basically being like, oh well, we don't know where he is, we can't really facilitate it, maybe we'll try to do it in the next couple of days or whatever, and they're just going to keep delaying, not outright refusing it, but in effect refusing to follow the court orders. They're either going to do that or they're going to comply. And if they comply with the Supreme Court, that's great. That's great. That means that all of everything that all of the liberals that have been saying, just trust the courts, we don't have to do anything, we'll just sit back and we'll watch as all of these cases get challenged through the courts, and eventually they're gonna like, justice will prevail, like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And but it's probably going to be the former, where they just really don't listen to these courts at all. And if that's the case, then we have a real issue on our hands, because we're going to have what the law says and what the courts rule is going to be one thing, and then we're going to have the administration saying a completely other thing in direct defiance to the courts. So right now, the Trump regime is doing things in direct defiance to laws, but it hasn't been tried in court yet, except for this. Like, this is the first case where it's being tried in court. So we're going to basically have like a constitutional crisis. I think that this is a good opportunity to kind of strike while the iron's hot in terms of actually trying to arrest people that are violating these court orders. I think that people that are directly at odds with these court orders should be arrested. Like, if the DHS isn't facilitating the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, then people there should get arrested. That's really the end of the matter. And then things are going to get really messy. But I think that this is the thing, guys. Liberals have just been all too content to sit back and say, oh, well, politics is a pendulum. It swung to the Republican side, but now it's going to swing back to the Democratic side, and things just work themselves out. Just let these cases work through the courts, and, I'm not foreseeing a constitutional crisis, but if that happens, then it happens, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're at the bridge. We're at the bridge right now. We have like 1 foot on the bridge. We're just waiting to see if we actually go completely on the bridge. And so right now it's like the Trump regime is at its breaking point. Liberals are about to be called out on their bullshit, because what if Trump does actually ignore the Supreme Court, which they literally have already done. They already have done that. The Supreme Court has ordered the facilitation of the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and the Trump regime has not done any facilitation to get this person back. So anyway, when I say liberals, though, what's funny is, like, people that watch CNN, just regular people, they've actually woken up. They actually fucking hate this Trump regime. You know who hasn't woken up? The Democratic politicians. It's mind-boggling how the Democratic politicians are still trying to do bipartisan bills to lower the cost of eggs. We are so far past that. How are the Dems any different at this point? Some, yeah, that's the thing. You have liberal Democrats that haven't said shit. One litmus test that you can use to look at any Democrat is obviously a matter of funding Israel. And then the other thing is a matter of calling out the Trump regime's deportations and crackdowns on people's freedom of speech. Basically, If a Democratic politician calls out the Trump regime's attack on people's freedom of speech to criticize Israel and to support Palestine, then they're one of the good ones. But if they haven't said shit about it, they are basically in the pockets of Israel and in the pockets of capital as well. A lawyer on Instagram asked, what if something permanent has already happened to him and he can't be returned? And the thing is, guys, like, I know that that's a valid concern, for sure. Like, he literally was trying to avoid that country, specifically El Salvador. He specifically had a court order to not be deported to El Salvador because of fear of violence to him. However, it's way more likely, in my estimation, that the Trump regime is hesitant to bring him back, not because something has happened to him or anything like that, but because they simply don't want to comply with the Supreme Court's orders. They want to fight these orders tooth and nail, and this is a landmark case. This is going to set precedent for whether more people can be basically illegally deported, and if it was proven that they were illegally deported and there was no actual reason to deport them, then the courts can order them to be brought back. So I think that any little bit of power that the Trump regime sees itself giving up in this regard, they see it as a huge loss, and so they're going to try to like cling on to it as tightly as possible. Bukele is getting paid to keep him in prison, so I doubt anything happened. That's the other thing. Like, I do think that the prisoners in CSOT are like the American deportees in CSOT are probably being kept an eye on, so they're not just like randomly being lost and disseminated throughout the entire prison. But who knows? Trump is an avatar. He speaks for those who give him options. Most are literally political prisoners. I hope they're just being assholes and he isn't dead. Oh yeah, I mean, that would be fucking horrible if he's dead. That's the other thing that I wanted to talk about when you're like, Trump is an avatar, he speaks for those who give him options. It's an interesting point. So I didn't really talk about the tariffs this week. Like, it's just a fucking crazy week. And you obviously had the hilarious thing where Trump came up with the algorithm to figure out the tariffs and the algorithm that caused tariffs being put on like Holiday Island, tariffing penguins, and then people were like shitting on him for that. That was funny. And we still have tariffs on China, which are devastating. And that's actually something I want to talk about because I want to talk about that more later, because Ethan Klein and Hilo were basically crying because they're like, we can't get our clothes from China anymore. Which it's just, the only reason why that's funny is because they call Hassan a capitalist. Ethan's like, Hassan bought a fancy watch. He's a capital, or no, he didn't even buy a fancy watch. Hassan bought a fancy car, so he's a capitalist. It's like, you don't know what a capitalist is. And then Ethan's like, I wanted to build a factory and it requires a lot of capital, but Trump didn't give me any subsidies or incentives to build a factory. I'm like, holy shit, dude. They're so dumb. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, what I think is interesting about the whole tariff story, other than the fact that it's proof that Republicans are fucking stupid, and I'm going to start using Republican as an adjective for just like describing the opposite of reality or prescribing the exact wrong solution to a problem. Like, that's very Republican of you. I'm going to try to start using that in my parlance. But it really shows you what the true deep state in this country is, where Donald Trump, he personally and truly wanted to put tariffs on the entire world because for some reason he thought that was going to help out the country. Even though in the history of the United States, tariffs haven't helped the country at all. Even with McKinley, and McKinley did like very specific tariffs on, he did like very specific tariffs on like aluminum or something. Yeah, what are the McKinley tariffs? The tariff raised the average duty on imports almost 50% and increased designed. I thought he did it on like a very specific metal. Oh yeah, tin plates. I think that's what it was. Major import tens of millions of dollars in these goods entered the country each year. In the preceding 20 years, tariff rates have been raised and dropped, um, and domestic production had remained inconsequential. In a last attempt to stimulate the infant domestic tin plate industry, the act raised the duty level from 30% to 70%. The goal was for the duty to be protective or not to exist at all. But anyway, the interesting thing about this is like analysts have looked at this tariff and they're like, yeah, this tariff really didn't do anything. So in like the history of tariffs haven't done anything. But anyway, back to my point. The point is that Trump, like, this is something Trump genuinely wanted to do, is to tariff the entire world, and it didn't happen. And I think it's so interesting when you have just every norm and moray being completely shattered by this administration. But this is the thing that they get held back by some invisible hand, tariffing the entire world. And it's pretty clear to me that like this is what the deep state is. When you have Elon Musk getting access to like high classification of military plans on like potentially invading China or how to defend against China, and no one stops that, but tariffing the entire world, it's like all of the oligarchs are like, oh shit, like someone needs to talk to Trump and tell him to not do this, to pull back from the brink. So that's what our new deep state is. Trump has had an obsession with tariffs since the late 80s. Ron Var is the funniest fucking part of the whole tariffs thing. Wizard of Oz theory is very interesting. McKinley is who the wizard is based on. Oh, really? That's hilarious. Oh, all right, guys. By the way, listen, if anyone, so I was looking at the cease and desist letter that Ethan Klein sent to Noah Samson on Reddit, and that Reddit post got deleted. So if anyone has the PDF of that letter, send it to my email, because I've been like writing up reports on it. And I think it's like really interesting, like how little of standing Ethan Klein actually has. Tariffs are okay in circumstances if you prepare for them. USA outsources everything, and we have no preparation. Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, tariffs basically prevent importing, or like they disincentivize importing. And so, yeah, if you're simultaneously building up factories and beefing up production domestically, then maybe you can be a little protectivist by putting on tariffs. So it's like, okay, this product is more expensive now, but maybe if we have more factories and more production in the future, it will get cheaper. And then while it's getting cheaper and our production's getting better on it, we can put tariffs on our foreign competitors, so that people are more incentivized to buy domestically produced products. And I think a good example of a successful tariff was like Korea and beefing up its domestic car production. I think that was like South Korea used tariffs to protect its domestic car production. It's interesting. And obviously, when in the country we're in right now, could be useful, but yeah, there's really no point in tariffs if you're not able to pair it with a boost in domestic production. Other than, I mean, what it really is it's a flat tax on the lower income people. Like it's a regressive tax on people, and Donald Trump is just using it to tax people more. And the other thing that it is it's a power that the president alone controls. And so it empowers Trump. It's a regressive tax. It allows him to make deals with world leaders and allows for more opportunities for corruption. It's that's why Donald Trump likes it. It really just empowers him and his oligarch buddies. He can use it to manipulate the markets, and then when the markets are crashing, he and his friends can buy it, and he'll be able to tell his oligarch friends when he's going to reduce the tariffs and the markets are going to go back up. And so they can really just game the system. The despite is at least semi-private. The founder Blackwater is in Ecuador for their elections tomorrow. What is semi-private? Oh, I don't know what you're saying there. The despite is at least semi-private. Is the founder of Blackwater Ecuadorian? Okay. So, this is really interesting to me. I wanted to pull this up for you guys. Before we get into like this latest thing, I think that this is so ridiculous. So I was doing a bit of research, and this is my whole research document. Where is this? By the way, the defamatory statements are so funny. What are these defamatory statements? Defamatory statements. Noah Sampson's video and thumbnail defame Ethan by saying he backs a genocide. Oh, thanks for the email. Yeah, I think this is the file I was looking for. Thanks for sending me the PDF. Okay, but listen to this. So I'll actually pull this up. So Ethan Klein's lawyer lists a bunch of citations of Ethan Klein apparently condemning the genocide. And I went through and I found all of these citations, and it's actually like really interesting to me. So where is this? Where are these citations? Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so they first say that Ethan Klein expresses his, it is clear in the nuke, Ethan expresses his repeated condemnation of Israel's treatment of Palestinians, and then they cite the nuke 1706 to 1801. So that's like what, 55 seconds, and this is the quote that they use. Ethan Klein says, "I've donated $6,500 to a Palestinian charity after the war started," and then he plays a clip of him donating that, and it's like, once again, he's literally calling it a war. Condemned Netanyahu as a war criminal. Okay, so we just need to find his condemnation of Israel's treatment of Palestinians. And it's like, he's condemned Netanyahu as a war criminal. That's good. Called the West Bank settlements an abomination. And then he plays a clip of him saying, the settlers in the West Bank are genocidal. And it says, even said the West Bank settlers are valid military targets. Once again, there is literally no mention of any of Israel's actions in Gaza whatsoever in this entire content nuke. So let's just like play this really quick, because I just think it's like so shocking to me that he made this entire fucking content nuke about Hassan. And in this, he never once mentions what Israel is doing in Gaza. So what is the timestamp? 1706. And just remember, this isn't me saying, this isn't me saying in this one section of the video, Ethan doesn't condemn Israel's actions in Gaza. This is his lawyers pointing out this section to say he condemns Israel's actions in Gaza, and he literally never mentions their actions in Gaza once. Also, I love how he's justifying Israel's ethno-state status there. It's like his lawyers want us to believe that Noah Sampson calling Ethan Klein a genocide supporter is defamatory, and yet in this video, Ethan Klein refers to what's happening in Gaza as a war multiple times, like 3-4 times, and he justifies the ethno-state of Israel multiple times. That's the entire point of this video, is to justify Israel keeping its supermajority of having Jewish people there. It's actually crazy. Like, it's actually crazy that this is supposedly the evidence that he doesn't support a genocide. Okay, so this is his lawyer's. Oh shit! Sorry guys, you can't hear this. All right, hold on. Let me set this up. I should be reading chat more. You didn't miss anything. Okay, hopefully this works.
Hey, Ethan Klein, thank you for the.
Okay, so this is the part where the lawyers say he's repeatedly condemned Israel's actions in Gaza. Or wait, no, it's not actions in Gaza, it's actions against Palestinians. Oh shit. To the person who emailed me a folder, the PDF that you sent me was for the Kavanaugh lawsuit. Not the, I wanted this, if anyone has the cease and desist letter that his lawyer sent to Noah Sampson in PDF form, I'd like to get that from you guys. Okay, so just once again, this is the lawyer's claim. This is the section of the video that Ethan's lawyer's claim says that he condemns Israel's actions against Palestinians.
Of our disagreement. Despite what you've read on TikTok and Twitter, I've donated $6,500 to a Palestinian charity after the war started.
Hey, Ethan Klein, thank you for the dono. Ethan Klein gave $6,500. My goat. Thank you, Ethan.
Condemned Netanyahu as a war criminal. They're led by Netanyahu, who should resign in disgrace and go to prison for being a war criminal. Called the West Bank settlements an abomination. Settlers in the West Bank are religious zealots, they're monsters, they're genocidal. I've even said the West Bank settlers are valid military targets. When you talk about like colonial settlers and stuff, like that's what's actually happening in the West Bank right now. And these people are more or less valid military targets, in my opinion. My only crime is wanting a two-state solution instead of one, and thinking it's not okay to kill Israeli civilians.
It's so funny. My only crime is wanting a two-state solution instead of one, and that's because the Jews in Israel would feel bad if they didn't have an ethno-state. Yeah, the email sent to the Reddit user, we'll cover that in a little bit. But anyway, so that's the evidence that Ethan Klein does not support genocide because he expressed his repeated condemnation of Israel's treatment of Palestinians, even though he never mentioned the way that Israel treated Palestinians in the entire nuke, not even mentioning that they like turned their food and water off, cut off their electricity. I guess he said they killed 40,000 Palestinians in the war, which once again is an undercount by like 8,000, being generous, hundreds of thousands if we're being truthful about the matter. So also, let's read this part too. So these are, and then Ethan Klein's law firm, Hypocrisy, says this. Ethan condemned the genocide in Gaza on numerous occasions prior to the nuke. Okay, so this is the claim. Ethan condemned the genocide in Gaza on numerous occasions prior to the nuke. Keep in mind, Ethan Klein has called what's happening in Gaza a war and blamed Hamas for the war happening multiple times, like probably around 10, 12 times that you can find on camera. And they're saying he condemned the genocide in Gaza on numerous occasions prior to the nuke. And this is every single reference that Hypocrisy included to support their claim that Ethan Klein condemned the genocide in Gaza prior to the nuke. So from the H3TV video, I made a mistake, I'm sorry. At 2 hours, 3 minutes 40. It's going to be horrible. There's going to be so many Gazan civilians that are going to die because of Israel, because the Israel government is doing is fucking barbaric genocidal freaks. Once again, this is true. He's saying that they're going to die because of Israel, but is this really condemning Israel's genocide? Is this actually even talking about what Israel's doing to them? His whole argument is that it's not just what people say, it's what they choose to say. Well, that's the thing. the other thing on this is like all of these are not even good quotes to use. So like 2 minutes later, Ethan says, "But what more do you want me to say? They're genocidal, murderous fucking war criminals. I mean, Jesus, is that not enough?" So once again, the entire context of Ethan Klein talking about this is his chat getting mad at him because he was making fun of Aaron Bushnell's self-immolation. And his chat's like, "You don't care about this at all." And then he's like, "But what more do you want me to say? They're genocidal, murderous fucking war criminals. I mean, Jesus, is that not enough?" And he says, "Peace to Gaza, we love the Palestinian people, freedom, end to the genocide happening by settler fucking lunatics, genocidal freaks, and Netanyahu's a fucking war criminal. He should be in jail." Once again, by the settler lunatics, they are not the ones doing the genocide. Okay, once again, this is very nitpicky, but I think it's important to show the context in which Ethan is apparently condemning the genocide in Gaza. And the context is he's getting yelled at by his chat for not caring enough about the genocide that's happening. And he's like, "What more do you want me to say? They're getting genocided, okay? Like, is that enough?" Then we have this. "This isn't the first time I've said it, and I'll say it many more times. The cabinet is run by genocidal maniacs. They're led by Netanyahu, and that should resign in disgrace and go to prison for being a war criminal." So yeah, this is great. But once again, Ethan Klein blames Hamas for this war, and he calls it a war. Your Hassan's take about, "Listen, Gazans are under apartheid, they're being genocided and all of this," which is all true, and it's what causing all of the violent retaliation, which is all true, I'm sorry, but it's not the fucking same as saying, "Let's go Palestine" as bodies are hitting the floor. This was in the context of Ethan criticizing people that were saying "Free Palestine" on October 7th. And Ethan Klein was saying that if you say "Free Palestine" on October 7th, you are basically prolonging this genocide from happening, which is hilarious. He goes on to say, "The result of this Second Thought tweet," and Second Thought tweeted "Victory and liberation to Palestine. "These people that are pro-Palestine, the result of this is literally the opposite of any intended consequence, which is Netanyahu gets more powerful internationally and domestically when people already fucking hated him and his government. The Western countries are basically backing up Israel's genocide and encouraging it and sanctioning it. The Gazans are now being bombed. Their food, power, and water are being shut off, although that happens regardless at times." And then Hassan says, "all the time." He lamented the firing of Yoav Gallant, literally confessing to being lip. Hey, thank you for becoming a channel member. He believes it's a justified genocide. At the end of the day, Ethan just doesn't really care about this. And then this is the final apparent condemnation of Israel's genocide in Gaza, where Ethan literally admits that he's like pulling teeth getting him to say that Israel's doing a genocide, where he says, "I've pulled myself all the way to outright saying it's apartheid. It's genocide that the Israeli government is committing, but you still want to call me a racist and a genocide and a Zionist." This was in the context of Ethan getting mad at chat for criticizing him for joking about Aaron Bushnell's self-immolation. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. It's like, if I were his lawyers, I wouldn't really make the claim that he's condemned this genocide multiple times, because it's kind of weak. Okay, so what the fuck is happening with this like Reddit stuff? What is happening with this? Do I have to pull open Reddit? Bella Thorne stories. So, okay, let's go to the leftovers Reddit, because I saw some stuff there. Just bones. Ah, yes, it's only fair use if they're respectful. This is the thing, guys. I really see a lot of similarities between Ethan Klein and Trump, where it's like, if you post a negative comment about Trump to social media, he'll literally try to deport you. And if you post a clip of Ethan Klein's show onto Reddit, did someone send me another letter? Maybe it got sent to spam. But Yeah, Ethan, like Trump will like deport a random person for being critical of him, and Ethan Klein will sue a random person for basically saying, basically like posting a clip of him. Okay, so what the fuck is this? Hassan's talking about this shit. Where is this letter? I should have set this up, but it's fine. So this is the cease and desist letter. Hassan talks about being more shocked. What? Privileged and confidential settlement communication? Bro, this is so fucked up. Oh, did I check my inbox for a letter? No, I should though. I haven't like said anything about Ethan though. Like, I haven't said that he's pro-genocide, at least in the thumbnail of my videos. Ethan Klein's favorite IDF mouthpiece and loaner box casually refers to Gaza's emergency fire and rescue civil defense workers as Hamas while debating Chris Kunzler. Wait, he debated Chris Kunzler? I don't think so. I think he debated like another guy who was talking about Chris Kunzler. Does anybody have a clip of him being racist towards indigenous people? Okay, these people are kind of funny. So, okay, so this is the first thing, right? Ethan talks about this shit. And I don't know why Ethan Klein's fan base thinks this is like badass. Like why do they think this is cool? So if we go to the r/h3h3 productions, they're posting the same. Like the funny thing is they're posting the same exact shit as the alleged snark page, but it's just a completely different perspective. Okay, so what is this? One of the snarkers that received legal notice is now bragging about it from clout. Hassan ranting about Ethan. Do you feel small that all of your efforts seemingly have failed and that most people think you're a fucking loser, and says he needs an intervention? Steiny call. So did Hassan actually talk to Steiny? Okay, bad and banana. We just gotta read this whole thing. We gotta start at the beginning. All right, let's continue with this. Just see if we can find more. Who's dropping bars quicker? Need to find more. Oh yeah, also this. Ethan Klein defending genocidal rhetoric from Yogaland. It's so interesting to me. So what I find really funny is I was listening back to the last episode of Leftovers where they were in studio and they were talking, and Ethan Klein is basically making the argument, if you said free Palestine on October 7th, you are supporting Hamas. Like he literally said that. If you stand with Palestine on October 7th, it's the timing and you're supporting Hamas. And it's like, okay, but is there really ever a timing on apartheid and genocide to not stand with the victims? Like, is there ever a time in that where you shouldn't be standing with the victims? And it's so interesting to me how Ethan can say that Hassan is a terrorist supporter because he is like, I don't have an issue with Hezbollah resisting Israel. I don't really have an issue with Hamas resisting Israel. Obviously, the way they resist matters. Like, they should be targeting military targets, but I don't have an issue with them resisting in theory. And then Ethan will say, Hassan is a terrorist supporter. But it's a complete double standard. And the fact that he looks at what Israel is doing and always tries to obfuscate and defend the actions that Israel is doing. Even if he says they're genocidal actions, he will say that, well, they're genocidal, and that's the way Hamas is set up. Israel has to be genocidal because they have to defend themselves. But he never looks at what Hamas is doing and says, well, Hamas needs to fire rockets at Israel because they have to defend themselves. Or, like, I don't know. He doesn't actually know what the fuck Hamas is doing because Hamas isn't doing anything. Hamas isn't doing anything defensively other than just not trying to not fucking die. Other than October 7th, obviously. Okay, so where is the fuck is this? Okay, here's the letter. Do this or get sued. So let's start with this. Someone asked me to post this by itself. So here you go. In a previous post, I shared the email I received from Klein's lawyer over an alleged minute-and-a-half clip uploaded to the Snark page that they are claiming does not fall under fair use. The rest of the letter is basically just legal jargon about what fair use is, why the clip posted doesn't apparently fall under that umbrella, yada yada. But the good part is, the demands so that I don't face litigation. Oh, the good part is this, the demands so that I don't face litigation. Mind you, they addressed this to an incorrect name and addressed me as Mr. when I'm a woman, so not sure how people are going to Google me. Anyway, enjoy and maybe check your emails. So the person says, your only option to avoid litigation. So we missed the first thing. 2, you provide our office with all correspondence you have had with the moderators of H3 Snark. Oh my God, that's so funny. Hey, thank you for the 10 gifted subs, me outs. 3, you provide our office with all correspondence you have had with other H3 Snark users. How, like, what do they even mean by that? How are you supposed to do that? Just screenshot everything? 4, you provide our office with all correspondence you have had with Reddit. And 5, you provide our office with information regarding the identities of the H3 Snark moderators. Okay, what? So this is for a copyright claim. Copyright claim. Like, is it actually legal to say, I'm not gonna sue you for copyright claim if you like do favors for me? Like, is that legal at all? Hold on. Can you extort someone with a lawsuit? For the public members, threatening to press charges against someone to take advantage of the situation can be considered a crime. It can be subjected to extortion, which is punished mainly by a fine or imprisonment depending on the offense level. Is it legal to threaten someone with a lawsuit? Which is basically what they're doing. So let's see what this is. Is it illegal to threaten someone with a lawsuit? By mediate lawsuit. A threat is a statement of a person to frighten or intimidate a person or group of people to either harm or cause damage. It is an action prohibited by most federal and state criminal laws. In most countries, threatening is associated with various crimes like extortion or threatening someone to gain something from an individual. However, is it illegal to threaten someone with a lawsuit? It can be considered illegal or not depending on the situation. It's criminal extortion. This reads more like threats. Threatening to sue someone with a civil lawsuit is not a problem, but it can be subjected to illegal harassment if it is meaningless. An empty threat with a lawsuit is considered illegal when the person suing does not hold anything against the person. The threat can also be considered harassment if the threatening person did not go through the civil lawsuit process. In conclusion, threatening someone with a lawsuit is not illegal unless it is meaningless. Is it threatening to file criminal charges illegal? How to know if the threat can be subjected to a crime. When it comes to knowing if a threat can be charged as a crime, the following elements should be taken into consideration. The threat is considered a crime if there is severe intent of harming or killing the person when the speaker states a threat. Oh, wait, this is not even threatening a lawsuit. How to respond when someone threatens legal charges. Sometimes receiving a threat of pressing charges against you can be terrifying, especially if it's not true. So it's best to understand how you should respond when you receive a threat in the form of a letter or email. If it's a letter or email, ensure that you carefully read and understand the content and context of the letter. You should identify if the letter intends to threaten you. It's also essential to check the sender of the letter or email and see if you know the sender or not. Once you've analyzed the letter's content and the situation, think of the best option to address the problem. Consider consulting experts' advice, to give you more options. And this was honestly, kind of useless. Is illegal. I don't really want to look at Quora. When is threatening legal action illegal? Okay, let's just take a look at this article. Wait, this isn't even an article. This is like a forum. So I guess if you make unwarranted demands with menaces, okay, I'm not even going to read this. Civil extortion, laws and lawsuits in California. All right, let's see if the Schaus Law Group gives us anything. It's threatening with legal action. They threaten to make public the personal info with the lawsuit. Yeah, basically they're threatening to dox the person and kind of like ruin their lives, like bankrupt the person. Okay, extortion is obtaining money or property by force or fear. Criminal extortion is different from civil extortion. The state can convict defendants just for making a threat, but to win a lawsuit, the plaintiff must have paid the defendant. Receiving threats is not enough. Civil extortion has 3 elements plaintiffs must prove. The defendant knew the threat was wrongful. The threat included a demand for money, property, or services, and the plaintiff complied with the demand. So I guess like, so if the threat was wrongful, then you can say that they're threatening me with something. But if it's like it's true and they're demanding money from it, they're like, okay, we're going to sue you unless you pay us like $100,000. Then you can't say that that's civil extortion. That seems like it would still be civil extortion. But a customer threatens a business with negative Yelp reviews unless the owner provides them with free services. A woman threatens to accuse her ex-husband of domestic violence unless he increases child support payments. Okay, what is the definition of civil extortion in California? It's upgraded to criminal extortion in this case, in my humble opinion. I looked at it and it would be civil extortion if there wasn't a threat of doxing with the lawsuit. I mean, the point though is that like you have to have like a frivolous lawsuit. At least that's what I'm reading from these like 2 or 3 articles that I've read so far. What level of fear is necessary for extortion? What is the definition of civil extortion in California? The criminal definition of extortion is the same as civil extortion, as set forth: the obtaining of property from another with his consent, or the obtaining of an official act of a public officer induced by wrongful use of force or fear, or under color of official right. What level of fear is necessary for extortion sets for the level of fear necessary to make out a claim for extortion. That section provides. What if I did what the blackmailer alleged? The issue in civil extortion is not the plaintiff's actions, it is the defendant's use of force or fear. What if the defendant had legal right to carry out the threatened actions? People have the right to report wrongdoing to the police, government agencies, their company's human resources department, and so forth. But just because you have the right to do something, it doesn't mean you have the right to demand money not to do it. For instance, people have the right to post negative reviews on websites such as Amazon and Yelp. That right is protected by the First Amendment. Likewise, people have the right to report a suspected crime, an immigration violation, or violation of their company's sexual harassment policy. But when someone makes a threat to do one of these things and demands money, I mean, it says money or services, right? Because it says they demand money, property, or services, and you can make the argument that giving your interactions with all of these other Reddit accounts is property. It's your property. It's your information that you're handing over. But when someone makes a threat to do one of these things and demands money not to do it, it is unlawful. Okay, so where is it saying this? Well, that seems like exactly what's happening, right? They're demanding property to not sue the person. Can someone ask for a settlement in order to avoid a lawsuit? Can I sue if I didn't pay any money to the blackmailer? How does a person prove civil extortion? It depends on the case. Typical evidence of extortion may include recordings of the alleged extortionist threat, such as emails, texts, voicemails, or video recordings, bank records showing the exchange of money, eyewitness testimony. Plaintiffs have to prove civil extortion by a preponderance of the evidence. This is a much lower standard than in criminal cases that is beyond a reasonable doubt. Therefore, a person could be acquitted of extortion in criminal court and still found liable in civil court. I mean, this seems to be, if this is true, like it seems to be kind of an open and shut case of civil extortion for information from the person, for the person's property. Ethan's lawyer is a valid. Okay, I'm not. Don't Fed post and like Fed bait me. Would Ethan be liable for the crime, considering it was the lawyer who made the threat on his behalf? That's an interesting question. Civil extortion lawsuits are independent of criminal cases. Victims never have to file a police report. They can still sue for money. Okay, let's just like try to find a few more articles about this. Civil extortion laws. Department of Justice. Extortion by force, violence, or fear. In order to prove a violation of Hobbs Act, extortion by the wrongful use of actual or threatened force, violence, or fear, the question must be the following. Okay, so that's just like actual extortion. Actual lawfare. If anything, it could be an ethics violation on behalf of the attorney. I mean, it's actually insane. Federal blackmail. Federal laws regarding extortion. Wait. All right, let's just look this up. Threatening with a lawsuit. What's this? CBM law or CBMS law? CBM law. Best part is Ethan is on video doing all the things. That's insane. Like, the guy needs to learn to shut the fuck up every now and then. Okay, so this is New York. May an attorney threaten to sue as a negotiating tactic? Oh, Grace G, I just got your email. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be writing more stuff, and I might make a video about it too, like an actual edited video. Okay, so what do we have here? So it says, why does the threat of litigating a matter need something more than just a letter? Here we will explore the use and justification for attaching a draft of a complaint to a demand letter to let your adversary know you mean business. So the New York State Bar Association issued an opinion on the subject based on a hypothetical case in which an attorney represents a client with a potential civil claim against a business. Basically the same thing here. Previous demand letters sent to the company generated no response, nor did phone calls to the owner. Hoping to provoke a reply, the attorney proposes drafting a complaint and sending it to the company and business owner along with a deadline by which they must settle or face the attached lawsuit. It's kind of the same thing. The attorney does not file the complaint, but intimates that failure to settle will prompt its filing, so becoming public record. Okay, so basically threatening to file the complaint unless the company sends money, or in this case, it'd be threatening to litigate unless the Redditor sends their property to the person. Grace, you missed out on the gifted sub. I feel bad now. May an attorney threaten to sue as a negotiating tactic? According to the Bar Association, sending a demand letter prior to filing a civil claim in court is commonplace. Demand letters, the most common first step in resolving a claim, typically detail the allegations, frame the issues, and start the dispute resolution process, often without escalating to litigation. Now, this is interesting, though, because in this hypothetical, the claim resolution is paying them money, right? Because that's what the court would order at the end of the day if they were found liable for like violating or I guess if the claimant was found that their claim was valid, then the business would have to pay them money. But in this circumstance, they're not asking for money, which is what the person that they would be suing would be giving them. So they're not actually they're not actually trying to resolve the claim. They're trying to leverage this claim to get information about other people, which is really interesting, because I don't think the Ethan Klein's a lawyer, Hiabar Nissim, could be like, no, we're just suing them to get information from them, because that doesn't have anything to do with the actual lawsuit, which is a copyright content violation. Like, it's a copyright violation, which would be paid out in damages through monetary value. Wouldn't it be like, and we're going to leverage this person to try to get this other network of people that are also copywriting, like stealing from our copyright. You have it set up to receive gifted subs. It's off by default. Is it off by default? I have no idea. I have no idea how this channel is set up. I didn't even turn on gifted subs. That was Kate. I don't know. I'll check it out. I feel like I should be able. I mean, people have been gifting subs before. Okay, let's just continue reading this though, because this is interesting to me. Because this is what we're talking about. When they're saying you need to, like when Ethan's lawyer is saying you need to provide a list of your interactions with all of these other Reddit accounts, then that's not taking the first step in resolving the claim. That's like going off in a completely different direction. They're not just saying, oh yeah, you need to take our copyright content down and pay us for damages, otherwise we're going to sue you. They're like, no, you need to like flip on all of these other people. Individuals need to turn on receiving gifted subs. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know why that. Yeah, it makes sense that individuals need to turn it on. So, demand letters, the most common first step in resolving a claim, typically detail the allegations, frame the issues, and start the dispute resolution process, often without escalating to litigation. While one cannot threaten to present criminal charges solely to gain an advantage in a civil matter, one can threaten to file a civil suit in some cases, so long as there are no falsehoods or deceptions. May an attorney threaten to sue even if their client has indicated they do not intend to ultimately authorize litigation? Well, that's irrelevant. Are lawyer letters even worth it? So should an attorney include a draft of a complaint to get an opponent's attention? It's a question that one must traverse with care. Certain circumstances might warrant the threat and inherent time and expense. The attorney's letter or phone call relies on the hopes that such efforts and expenditure of resources will be unnecessary. But how often does that actually bear fruit, and at what cost to the settlement value? Without a concrete threat, the upfront elimination of the costs associated with the litigation are often baked into the terms of the settlement, thereby reducing the return. A low investment avoiding litigation costs may result in a low yield. There is a danger, of course, either with just a letter or even one with a draft complaint attached, that you may lose the first strike advantage. The defendant may potentially take protective measures or countermeasures, such as filing their own complaint first or avoiding service of yours. Yeah, so anyway, like I don't think that this is like an open and shut case of the lawyer getting an ethics violation or anything. But it definitely is scummy. And the other thing that we need to talk about is like copyright law in the US. Let's just like look in California. Because you need to demonstrate that you were harmed by people posting your copyrighted content. Like obviously, basically it's a graded scale. So essentially it's like the more transformative the work is, the less you have a claim on it. And essentially it's like a graph. So it's like your ability to claim it increases over time, and then like the more transformative it is, makes your ability to claim it worse. So I guess it'd be going down or whatever. This is the more transformative it is, and then the damage that it deals you is the other axis. And so like if it's dealing you a lot of damage, you have a large ability to claim it. And if it's not dealing you that much damage, then you can't claim it that much. And yeah, so basically, if you can demonstrate that it caused you a lot of harm, people are going to be more likely to side with you on your copyright infringement case. And then the same is true for if it's transformative or not, if you've transformed it a lot. So like, I think the case here is it wasn't really transformed that much. It was just a clip with a title attached to it and then people talking about it, but it also didn't cause that much harm. So it's a very kind of meaningless thing. And so I don't even know if a court would really pick this up and take it to civil trial because it's so meaningless. What can be copyrighted? Literary works, musical works, dramatic works, pantomimes, pictorial, graphic, and cultural, motion pictures, sound recordings, architectural works. Who owns a copyright work? Employing commissioned work, how to establish your copyright, exercising a copyright. The Copyright Act generally gives the owner of a copyright the exclusive right to reproduce and authorize others to reproduce the works and copies in phonographic records. Limits and restriction. The nature of copyright work, the amount and substantiality, ancillary rights, duration, transfer, assignment, and licensing, enforcement, copyright infringement. If a claim also involves state law issues such as breach of contract, federal, where to sue, infringement. Copyright infringement occurs when a copyrighted work is reproduced, distributed, performed, publicly displayed, or made into a derivative work without the permission of the copyright owner. Taking action against infringement The owner of a copyright may initiate civil lawsuits in the U.S. courts. The federal government may, at its discretion, also initiate a criminal copyright enforcement action against counterfeiting at the request of the copyright owner. Under the DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act, content owner has the right to process a takedown notice against a website owner and/or online service provider. If the content owner's property is found online without his permission, the content will generally be removed. However, the poster of the content will also be given an opportunity to have the content put back. Any owner or exclusive licensee of a right reserved exclusively to the copyright owner under Section 106 of the Copyright Act can sue for copyright infringement. Because a work has many exclusive rights, it is possible that several people could have the right to sue for copyright infringement. Statute of limitations in the Copyright Act is 3 years after the claim accrued for civil actions and 5 years after the claim accrued for criminal actions. And I think Ethan Klein said that he has 3 years to sue this person. Courts have applied different standards to determine whether continued infringement actions fall under the statute of limitations and whether a cause of action accrues at the time of discovery. Whether a cause of action. I never knew about the receive gifted subs thing. I guess you have to turn it on. It was to facilitate commentary. I work with copyright attorneys for my job, and they would laugh their asses at this and call it low risk. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. It's just so funny to me. The UFC lets people just upload full fights onto YouTube and no copyright on it at all. You can just find, the UFC is insane in terms of taking people down. And Ethan Klein freaks out about a 2-minute clip that some guy posted, and then was a dumbass and is like, no, I'm gonna fight this and say that actually I want to keep my 2-minute clip up there. I mean, it's just so crazy. Measures to consider when protecting digital content. Copyright protection is as broad for online content as it is for non-digital content. An important step in protecting online content is letting others know that the particular work is protected by copyright and who owns the copyright. Affixing a notice to a work, although not necessary for protection, will put others on notice for after. Subsequently, third parties can learn who they must seek permission from if they wish to use the work. This isn't really fair use. Content owners should also monitor their use of their work online. It is content creators can also control blah blah blah. Okay, let's see. Copyright fair use. Copyright fair use laws. I'll just look it up in California. California State University, Long Beach, Handbook of Copyright and Fair Use, California State University Office of the Chancellor. All right, let's just get rid of that. U.S. Copyright Office Fair Use Index. Fair Use Index tracks a variety of judicial decisions held both lawyers and non-lawyers. Okay, we'll just skip this. About fair use. Fair use is a legal doctrine that promotes freedom of expression by permitting the unlicensed use of copyrighted works in certain circumstances. Section 107 of the Copyright Act provides a statutory framework for determining whether something is fair use and identifies certain types of uses, such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research, as examples of activities that may qualify as fair use. Section 107 calls for consideration of the following 4 factors in evaluating a question of fair use. Purpose and character of the use, including whether the use is of a commercial nature or is for nonprofit educational purposes. Courts look at how the party claiming fair use is using the copyrighted work and are more likely to find that nonprofit educational and non-commercial uses are fair. This does not mean, however, that all nonprofit education and non-commercial uses are fair and all commercial uses are not fair. Instead, courts will balance the purpose and character of the use against the other factors below. Additionally, transformative uses are more likely to be considered fair. Transformative uses are those that add something new with a further purpose or different character and do not substitute for the original use of the work. Nature of the copyrighted work. This factor analyzes the degree to which the work that was used relates to copyright's purpose of encouraging creative expression. Thus, using a more creative or imaginative work, such as a novel, movie, or song, is less likely to support a claim of fair use than using a factual work, such as a technical article or news item. In addition, use of an unpublished work is less likely to be considered fair. amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. Under this factor, courts look at both the quantity and quality of the copyrighted material that was used. If the use includes a large portion of the copyrighted work, fair use is less likely to be found. If the use employs only a small amount of copyrighted material, fair use is more likely. That said, some courts have found use of an entire work to be fair under certain circumstances, and in other contexts, even using a small amount of copyrighted work was determined not to be fair because the selection was an important part or the heart of the work. Effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. And this is what I was talking about, where it's like, if it can cause you harm by releasing, like, playing the Super Bowl during the actual Super Bowl, like you're streaming the Super Bowl, that is an example of immediate potential harm. And so people are going to be much more litigious if you're streaming the Super Bowl during the Super Bowl. But if you stream the Super Bowl like 2 years later, then it's not going to be that much harm in terms of like the value of the copyrighted work. Here, courts review whether and to what extent the unlicensed use harms the existing or future market for the copyright owner's original work. In assessing this factor, courts consider whether the use is hurting the current market for the original work, for example, by displacing sales of the original, and or whether the use could cause substantial harm if it were to become widespread. In addition to the above, other factors may also be considered by a court in weighing a fair use question, depending upon the circumstances. Courts evaluate fair use claims on a case-by-case basis, and the outcome of any given case depends on a fact-specific inquiry. This means that there is no formula to ensure that a predetermined percentage or amount of work, or specific number of words, lines, pages, copies may be used without permission. Magic Poodle says, I'm sure under any other circumstance it could be used against him, but these clips are being used to criticize Israel, so it's a toss-up. Yeah, that's true. So it's a toss-up if that would have any impact at this point. Well, what are the clips that he got pissy over? Yeah, but just like, once again, they say that if you use this to like criticize different character, it says basically if like you use it to criticize the use, criticisms, comments, news reportings, teaching, scholarships, research, like this is definitely criticism, comment, posting it there. It definitely doesn't hurt the potential market value for Ethan Klein's original copyrighted work. It's not like the heart of the copyrighted work, unless Ethan thinks that him being a fucking idiot about Israel is the heart of his content, which would be a hilarious claim for him to make. But it's like, what the fuck? Even if he wins this lawsuit, what's he gonna get out of it? Like $20? It's completely ridiculous. It's actually crazy. Okay, so let's continue reading this. If you do not or cannot. I love that. They're like, even if you cannot, you fucking loser, you can't even physically give us your Reddit logs. If you do not or cannot satisfy all 5 conditions, TEI will sue you for copyright infringement and misrepresentation. Keep in mind that federal court filings are public. Anyone performing a simple Google search on you, let alone a background check, will discover this information. Once judgment is entered against you, the court's finding that you engaged in copyright infringement and lied in a legal document will also be publicly available. Once judgment is entered against you. Holy shit. So that's pretty funny. I mean, the guy, once again, like, yeah, it's threatening. Is it illegal? Maybe. It's mostly just funny. Still can't get over the fact that Ethan has become the exact kind of pathetic little baby boy that he's been dunking on for years. Good thing he's incapable of introspection, or else he wouldn't be able to live with the embarrassment. That's kind of true. What a childish little coward, LMFAO. Where it is a badge of honor, OP. This is fucking insane. Okay, Hassan just reacted to this and is bewildered. I do want to see Hassan's reaction, but first I want to see the H3H3 reaction to this. Oh wait, no, this is leftovers. Where is the H? Didn't H3H3 react to this? I thought I saw them react to it. Let me just look up a letter so that's not going to be there. Yeah, I mean, Ethan Klein, that's what everyone's saying. Like, Ethan literally got into he fought a lawsuit in favor of supporting fair use so that he can react to videos and argue that it's transformative content. Oh shit. Where was this other thing? So we saw that. Okay. All right, we'll just see what they say over there. Because I do think this is hilarious. Like, this is so crazy now that his fans are like into this now. Like, suing people for what they post on Reddit. Like, guys, people have posted clips of me on Reddit. Like, they haven't asked permission. I haven't taken down, I haven't requested I haven't like DMCA'd them, but, and I don't think anyone would be like, oh no, we're gonna like push back and say that it's actually in fair use. Like, maybe they would, but like, that's just not something that's even crossed my mind, being like, oh no, I have to get all of these clips taken down of me, even if they're critical clips of me. Okay, anyway, so let's just get into this. So, attempted extortion letter sent by soon-to-be disbarred lawyer Ram Bar Nissim of Hia Bar Nissim to a random Reddit user on behalf of Ethan Klein. In the letter, Bar Nissim and Klein plainly threatened to initiate frivolous litigation against the user for the... I mean, to be fair, this is frivolous litigation. Like, they can claim that it's their copyright work, but the fact remains this is fairly protected underneath the fair use doctrine. And even if it's not protected, the amount of damages that they can say it caused them is negligible compared to the amount that it would cost to actually like carry out this lawsuit. So like, this is frivolous in every sense of the word, and like in every context of actually a lawyer sitting down to write out a letter to a Reddit user to get information on other Reddit users, like they're trying to take down Al Capone's empire. In the letter, Bar Nissim and Klein plainly threatened to initiate frivolous litigation against the user for the sole purpose of doxing their personal information in retaliation for them criticizing Ethan Klein's for his support of genocide. Well, they're trying to dox other people and threatening to dox this person. Like, they are threatening to dox a person. This is clear grounds for a complaint to the California Bar Association and the disbarment of Bar Nissim, who is an illegal West Bank settler before becoming an American Zionist lawyer. Yeah, why doesn't Ethan Klein go after this guy? This guy apparently was a West Bank settler. Wait, I need to look this up now. Ram Bar. I can't just say this because I don't know. Ram Bar Nissim is a resourceful and diligent attorney whose practice focuses on the media, internet, and entertainment industries. His experience encompasses both litigation and transactional work, having worked for a major studio and television network along with boutique law firms. Ram has strong knowledge of IP and First Amendment law. He co-authored a chapter on law enforcement practices for investigating journalists in an ABA publication entitled Whistleblowers, Leaks, and the Media. He also co-authored an amicus brief to the Ninth Circuit in the controversial case Garcia versus Google. Other advocacy projects include filing public comments to the Department of Commerce, FCC, and U.S. Copyright Office. Okay. Ram Bar Nissim. Let me just look up Israel. Maybe one of these law firms actually like was in Israel. What is this? Why, like, how do these people know this? Ram Bar Nissim co-authored an amicus brief in Garcia versus Google. He defended the film Innocence of Muslims 2. This is the film that sparked protests around the globe and inspired the 2012 Benghazi attack. Cindy Garcia was an actress in the film who filed a lawsuit claiming the director's tricked her. She was told it was an adventure film titled Desert Warrior. Had she known it was an anti-Islamic film, she never would have taken the gig. Below is an excerpt of the amicus brief as proof that it defends movie. Often, particularly with documentaries, the narrative does not fully materialize until the filmmaker is in the editing room. Filmmakers regularly need to radically alter the narrative to tell the most truthful or compelling story. He had an occupation job in the West Bank. Prior to entering law, Bar-Nissim was an English teacher in Israel and the West Bank. Holy shit. Yeah, that's pretty fucking dark. Wait. 6. So this is from his report that he wrote. Fundamental tension and introduction. Where's my boy Ram Bar-Nissim? Ram Bar-Nissim keeping secrets, holding leakers accountable, considering a comprehensive leaks approach. Why, like, he wrote this to hold the whistleblowers accountable? Holy shit, this is 306 pages. Limited preview. Wait, let me zoom in on this back. Ram Bar-Nissim isn't listed on here. David Wood, if knowledge is power. At last, the comprehensive. I guess these are just reviews. Where's about the authors? Perfect lawyer for someone who claims to be pro-Palestine. Yeah. I mean, it is just funny. Like, Ethan Klein has gone on the record saying that. Ethan Klein has gone on the record saying that West Bank settlers are valid military targets, and now he's literally working with a West Bank settler. Let me thank the editors and authors for producing this outstanding volume on leaks, whistleblowers, in the media. The ABA Standing Committee on Law and National Security and the Medill School of Journalism at the Northwestern University, through its National Security Journalism Initiative, have again collaborated to produce a timely, thoughtful set of essays on one of the most hotly debated issues of the day: how we understand, investigate, and prosecute leaks in this cyber age, where secrets are so hard to keep. What the fuck has emerged? So this is how we investigate and prosecute leaks, saying that secrets are hard to keep. So this is like against whistleblowers. The right to know and the right for the government to keep secrets addresses many of the ongoing tensions that have been with us since the birth of the Republic. Recent developments, from WikiLeaks to reporter prosecutions to Assange to Snowden, have generated much commentary and strong public opinions. This volume not only set the record straight and lays out the legal framework, but provides a forum for future discussions. Okay, this book is just a type of collaboration. So they're just like, it's a collection of essays debating the First Amendment. I mean, I would like to be able to actually read the description of Ram Bar-Nissim, which they say is where they got the idea that he was a teacher in the West Bank. Better World of Books, no reviews. I don't know, guys. Like, I'm sure he is, but I just can't say that definitively. Like, they don't actually say anything about that. And it's not listed in this little free section of the book. David Wood. Yeah, so these are just reviews. Yeah, I'd like to see it, but oh well. So let's just like get back to this. So the guy's like, this girl is, I'm a woman, so I'm not sure how people are going to Google me. Maybe log into your email. Anything doing a Google search will find you, aka do what we want, or Ethan will tell his fans how to find you and they'll start sending death threats. What an absolute piece of shit attorney. Yeah, like, the guy is kind of a piece of shit. Yes, it's only fair use if it's respectful. It's honestly absurd that these people are justifying such a blatant abuse of the legal system to go after a random Redditor. No, so this is just like a random post that they made. This is what I wanted to look at too. Let me introduce you to this dipshit. He posted a clip to Snark that we DMCA'd. That should have been it. But then he filed a fraudulent counter notification to bring the video back up, thereby forcing our hand to enforce our IP. Holy shit, dude. He thinks he's like Disney or something. We got his email address from the form, and subsequently, with very little work, his real ID. I will be suing him, but he needs to get in line. He's very low priority. once again, I don't think you should be like publicly stating I don't care about this person. I'm gonna be suing at him, but I don't care about this person. But we have 3 years to sue him, plenty of time. By the way, dude, 8 years in university, please, bro, get a job. As someone studying accounting and financing, I'd think you'd have a better sense of risk management. Oh well, some lessons come free. Free in the proverbial sense, it will cost you quite a bit. Holy shit, dude. Ethan Klein being like unintentionally funny by just how fucking spiteful and vindictive he is. Hope the 15-minute of clout from Snark was worth it. Yeah, just like crazy unhinged stuff from Ethan. This is what he sent on an official legal document under oath. Counter notification. Counter explanation. This was an abuse of the fair use system. This subreddit has also been mercy to many bad faith brigades recently, so I did not believe that this appeal was filed by the actual copyright owner. Even so, it would still be allowed under fair use. Okay, so like he's just arguing that it falls under fair use, and Ethan doesn't really have an argument against that. Okay, so what is this? Oh, is this just is this just like another Reddit post? Okay, we read this. I wanted to contact my friend Rom. I'll be making videos mentioning you and your firm and your conduct with SEO that will ensure any of your prospective clients see it. Cease your unethical conduct now. I do like that Bad Empanada is just like holding a mirror up to Ethan Klein's actions. Okay, I wanted to see this in the H3. Many parallels between Ethan and Trump. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there are many parallels. Trump is also doing frivolous lawsuits that have no case. I have no case in hell of actually succeeding in court, but he's just doing it to try to scare these people into not criticizing him. Like, Trump has literally sued the media completely frivolously, and they've like settled with him out of court because they're just like, no, we want to bend the knee and show fealty to Trump, which is exactly what Ethan Klein is doing. One of the snarkers that received legal notice is now bragging about it for clout. Or that's one way of putting it. It's like maybe spreading awareness, talking about how insane Ethan Klein is. Guys, did Ethan Klein talk about this shit on the latest podcast? No, like he's a complete, like, dude, Ethan Klein, he's always been kind of a shitty person, but he's just gotten way more conservative. It's literally like John Fetterman. Like when John Fetterman had a stroke, that literally made him into a more conservative person. And I think Ethan losing all of this weight has just turned him into this bitter husk of a person who now sees friends in all of the conservative people he was attacking. Like, he's having Steiny on his show, Bradley Martin on his show. He's doing poker with like all Trump supporter assholes, like Jorge Masvidal, streaming it on X. He's basically like sidling up to Keemstar, like shouting out his content in all of their episodes. It's crazy. It's crazy shit. Okay, so what is this? TEI copyright blah blah blah. Please, dear Mr. Blank, please see the attached. If you have counsel, please forward this to them and have them contact me directly about this matter. Rom Baranism. Okay, so they say they made the Reddit account with their college email. Oh wait, yeah, there are more clips to this. So we have this. Hey y'all, it's a girl being threatened with a lawsuit here. I just posted what I posted here yesterday along with the first page of the letter on my Twitter. If you want to check it out, mods, please delete this if I'm not allowed, sorry. My username on there is the same as it is on here, just with a 1 on the end. I just thought posting it there might gain some traction from other creators that could maybe provide some insight. Also, I know some people were questioning the validity of the letter, totally understandable, so I wanted to provide some more of it. Thanks everyone for your kind words and for being so supportive. Oh my god, these unhinged snarkers are just trying to murder Ethan Klein. They're trying to rip his children away from him. Literally just like the most chill fucking thing. Like the most chill post ever. Okay, so what is this shit? Removed by Reddit on account of violating the content policy. So this was the post. Okay. Okay, whatever. They made the Reddit account with their college email? Ha ha ha. Hey, they paid a lot of money for that degree. Might as well get a free email account out of it. That they don't check. How satisfying. Also a great reminder for the snark losers that nothing is ever truly anonymous on the internet. Bro, like, they posted a 2-minute clip of a podcast. They posted a 2-minute clip of the podcast. Like, this is the thing. They want to act like they're like all of these people that are left in Ethan Klein's cult are like, they want to act like they're vindicated, and every little victory that Ethan Klein has over people, it's a huge personal victory to them. But if they take a step back and pull their head out of this like tunnel vision that they've gotten themselves into, if they like just look at it from a different perspective, what are they really fighting against? They're fighting against someone posting a 2-minute clip of their favorite podcaster. They're fighting against Noah Sampson making a video trying to raise awareness of how the media defends a genocide. They're fighting against Hassan, who has been like one of the biggest voices in advocating for a free Palestine in America. They're fighting against people that are just trying to stop a genocide. And for what? Just so they can feel good and feel like their favorite content creator is like getting a W every now and then. It's actually really sad. Like it is just a cult at this point. And it's a cult because they didn't arrive to these positions through logic. They arrived to these positions through fandom to their cult of personality hero, Ethan Klein. Because Ethan Klein didn't arrive to these positions through logic. There really is no difference between the people that love Ethan and everything that he stands for, like every hypocrisy he stands for, they're willing to overlook, and Trump and the people that love Trump. Like, there's people that are like, oh yeah, the tariffs are the best thing ever. Then Trump gets rid of the tariffs. And then they say, oh, Trump is a brilliant negotiator. Like, they have no core belief in anything. And whatever their cult leader does, they're going to bend their personalities and perspectives around it to justify it. So when Ethan turns his show into a snark hour against Hassan, they're all for the snark. They're all for criticizing someone to make them change their behavior. But then when Ethan talks about how many snark subs he has on Reddit, they're all against the snarks. They think it's ridiculous. Why is Reddit allowing these people that are criticizing Ethan to try to make him change his behavior? They're in a fucking cult. I get the impression that many of them are literally children. Yeah, that's true. No, there was this one guy. What the fuck did he post? It's literally like right before stream. I was just looking at the H3 sub, and I tried to not engage with these people. But this one guy, he got the better of me. He was saying something like, "Oh, Ethan has literally never supported genocide," or something like that. And I'm like, I clicked on his profile, and I'm gonna be like, hey, do you really think Ethan's not supporting genocide if he calls it a war multiple times and blames Hamas for it? But then I saw on his profile, it's literally asking about trigonometry homework. And I'm like, okay, this is literally a fucking child. What am I doing? So I stopped myself, and I'm just not engaging with these people anymore. Yeah, I think a lot of these people are children. Maybe like teenagers loving the drama, loving a guy that they see as like an older guy who's cool, and he's hanging out with all of these conservative fucks that they also like. And it's like, oh, but like he yells at him every now and then, so this isn't actually conservative propaganda, even though it literally is. Like, it's basically a bit that he's been doing with Steiny, where Steiny's a shitty person and a Trump supporter, and Ethan's like, okay, yeah, but like, Trump's bad, right? And he's like, everyone has an opinion, man. And Ethan's just too fucking stupid to like keep pressuring him on that. These people huff clout like it's coke. How empty are their normal lives? And yet your tag on Reddit is Gila Klein. Like, once again, it's all hypocrisy. Like, it is nothing exists in this sub except for hypocrisy. It's crazy how Ethan is so crazed these days, unironically, because it's so like the opposite of how he was during the Leftovers era. Yeah, and it's Israel, man. It really is Israel. Like, this is the thing, guys. People are people seem fine until it actually affects them. And so we really, I mean, you really see this coming out when Ethan is personally affected by things. He started getting really pissy with Hassan when Hassan was taking this anti-capitalist stance, because Ethan is a capitalist. He is a capitalist. He is a self-professed capitalist. He owns a company. He owns the means of production, and he is not a worker. He profits off of workers, and he does not like the idea where he's doing like profit sharing with his workers. He does not want communal ownership of his companies. He does not want the means of production to be owned by the people that he employs. I mean, when Hassan said, yeah, like if you hire someone, you should split the profits with him, he got super pissed off at that. When Hassan was like, yeah, I don't like capital, I think it should be abolished. I mean, Ethan was fighting tooth and nail. I think we should have capital. I just think that we should have robust safety nets. He's a capitalist, and he's also a Zionist. These are two things that affect him personally, and these are the two things that he's been the most aggro on Hassan over, on his anti-capitalist stance, attacking him for being like a radical American-hating communist, and also on his anti-Israel stance, which Ethan labels as anti-Semitic or terrorist supporting. Because at the end of the day, if you support Israel, and America defines the enemies of Israel, or I guess if you are against Israel, and America defines the enemies of Israel as terrorists, like definitionally, if you fight against Israel or if you resist their aggressions, definitionally, according to the United States, you are a terrorist. So yeah, like definitionally, Hassan is kind of a terrorist supporter by Ethan's very, very narrow definition of the word terrorist. And so all I'm saying is like, Ethan isn't a political person where he has core beliefs of a political ideology. He does not have a political ideology, and you can see this when he's confronted with people of differing political beliefs with him. So he can hang out with Hassan and he can do a podcast with Hassan, but as soon as Hassan starts actually touching on issues that affect Ethan's life, then he gets defensive over it. Then he starts defending Israel, then he starts defending capital. And it's the same reason why he can play poker with Steiny and like have him on his podcast, play poker with Jorge Masvidal, who's a huge Trump supporter. Ethan can do all of these things because he doesn't actually care about politics until it affects him, which is why he was literally defending Trump's tariffs on Wednesday or Monday, maybe. It's like the Spider-Man meme. The level of cognitive dissonance is generational. I've never been so invested in witnessing his lol cow daily. I watch H3 Pod now just to laugh at him, and I must admit, you and BE are the goats. Hey, thank you. I mean, Bad Empanada's been doing this for way longer than I have, and I mean, he'll go places that I'm a little bit hesitant to go, but honestly, like, he just engages in the drama a little bit more than I do. Like, and he'll take like little threads of stupidness that I don't care about and just like pull on it until it comes ripping out of like Ethan Klein's hair. Just like the whole CPS bullshit, the whole like saying that this is a like this letter here is enough to get Ethan's lawyer disbarred, which I don't know, it's shitty. There seems to be some evidence that it could get it disbarred, but once again, Bad Empanada just takes like drama threads and just is like exacerbates those drama threads. Okay, so all right, where was we? So we do need to play a little bit of this because I do want to talk about Ethan Klein. I do want to get to Hassan reviewing Ethan Klein. I want to talk about this part too. This part is like a sound clip. This part like needs to be a soundbite when he's talking about. Oh wait, he talked about Sam Cedar. What the fuck? When he had, what's the Noah Samson update? Oh no, Samson just released a video. Vitaly's sentencing, Ethan's new haircut. Is this where like Steiny came in? Ethan takes financial test. That might have been episode 1. Okay, we'll watch this a little bit. Sam Cedar thing. All right, let's just listen to what his Noah Samson updates are.
Has what?
What does that mean?
He's here. Let me send you. He's making what looks like YouTube community posts. I'll show you. Here is our boy Noah Samson. I want to talk to Samson. Who's being a baby? TikTok Samson. How long does he have? How long has it been since we sent that?
And
letter?
we're back, as always.
time does he
It's
have?
the
You tell me.
H3 show.
Like a week or something? It was
Yeah.
last week, right?
TikTok Sammy boy. Oh, here it is. His community posts. Uh-oh, you guys. He's promoting Ethan hate videos. No. Hello, team. Found another bang.
Bro, what are you doing, dude? What are you actually doing? Why? Why? Like, is that supposed to be a joke? Like, I feel like this is the embodiment of Steven Crowder's. Uh-oh, it's Sam Cedar. Oh my God, it's Sam Cedar. Like, saying what he actually believes, but trying to make it a joke. It's like the air is just coming out of the balloon, but you're trying to put a veneer of a joke on it, but it's actually what you truly believe. So Ethan's like, oh shit, like obviously Noah Samson doesn't give a fuck about my lawsuit. He's not retracting his video. Oh no, he's actually promoting anti-Ethan Klein videos. Noah, my bro, promote my anti-Ethan Klein videos. Nah, I'm just kidding. I didn't watch this Chris Consular video because it's 58 minutes long. But whatever. I just have to run that back. That was so funny.
Posts. Uh-oh, you guys. He's promoting Ethan hate videos. No. Hello, team. Found another banger that I think many of you would enjoy. Great historical. I noticed a trend with you, Noah. When it comes to knowing anything at all about this conflict, you tend to pass the buck off to other people. I believe, it seems at least, that you don't know a single fucking thing about this conflict. Otherwise, you wouldn't be forced to be like, go check this guy out for all the answers, all the history answers. It's like, bro, you literally don't know shit. Great historical context, a lot of pro-Israel talking points we've been seeing on this platform. Also goes more into depth about points I've raised. Okay, well, TikTok, buddy.
All I'm saying is this segment is called Noah Samson updates. I'm gonna need an actual update. Otherwise, what was the point of this? You're just like, Noah made a post.
And then another one from yesterday. Due to certain events outside my control, which I publicly can't comment on at the moment, scared. I haven't been able to make regular videos for the past 2 weeks. Why, loser? Just make it about something else. Don't blame it on me because you're lazy.
Well, he might be stressed out about.
Well, then don't blame it on me if you're being a baby, or you're either lazy or you're being a baby. You can make a video about anything you want. I mean, hell, you could make a video about me if you want to stand on your business, but you're a coward and a loser, which I'll prove in court. I don't know if I can prove you're a coward or a loser.
We're gonna prove that you're a coward and a loser in court. I mean, the ironic thing about Ethan saying that is like, it could literally be proven in court that Ethan Klein supports genocide. And that's the funniest thing about this. Is like, bro, listen, the only thing you could possibly prove in this is that, I guess, the preponderance of evidence was that you don't support genocide. But that's it. You're not going to prove that Noah Samson is some kind of rapist. You're not going to prove that he's a coward. You're not going to prove he's a loser. If you go to court, you're literally fighting to defend yourself from being a genocide defender. And it's at least in Noah Samson's definition of defending and supporting genocide, which he very clearly laid out, is manufacturing consent for genocide through the media. And I've made this argument before, but I'll write it again. Or I'll say it again. I actually wrote this up pretty clearly about how Ethan Klein actually does support genocide. So we can see here. Okay, where did I write? Oh, he's actually a supporter of genocide. Okay, here we go. So, Noah Samson's video and thumbnail to fame Ethan by saying he backs a genocide. Noah Samson's video titled "The YouTubers Are Back to Genocide." Noah gives his definition of what constitutes backing a genocide multiple times throughout the video. Noah says Western media manufactures consent for Western imperialism and terrorism through atrocity propaganda and lying and deceptive framing. So lying about Israel's actions, and also atrocity propaganda, namely spreading like the mass rapes hoax, talking about how brutal Hamas was, which was also mostly a lie. Like the idea that Hamas ripped fetuses out of pregnant women and were like throwing around breasts like hacky sacks. There hasn't been any kind of corroborating evidence for any of that. But that's something that Ethan has spread. Noah says denying genocide accusations supports genocide. Ethan denies genocide accusations. He calls it a war. Noah says lying and framing in the benefit of Israel manufactures consent supporting the genocide. Ethan has lied about Israel, saying that it's not an apartheid state, that the people there aren't supporting of genocide, and it's actually just the government and the far-right extremists that support genocide. He also compares the expulsion of Jews to the Nakba. That is lying in favor of Israel as well. Noah gives the example of referring to Israel's actions in Gaza as a war is a framing media uses to manufacture consent. That is also something that Ethan does. Noah says atrocity propaganda is a primary justification for genocide. Once again, that's something that Ethan Klein does too. Atrocity propaganda. And then I included a ton of examples of Ethan Klein referring to this as a war. He says the conditions in Gaza before the war were tough. The Israeli public was like, we can keep the war going. Lonerbox justifying Israel to continue trying to defang Hamas in Gaza, and Ethan Klein just lets that slide. Ethan says that neighborhoods have been completely flattened during the war. Ethan says I've donated to $6,500 to a Palestinian charity after the war started. That's something like very specifically. That's something very specifically that he talks about, and that's something Noah Samson lists as supporting genocide, which Ethan Klein does. Ethan lies about Israel in order to make it look good, specifically by claiming it is not a racist apartheid state. In unmasking the harassment campaign against this H3 show number 113, Ethan states that he is planning on going to Israel and is excited to show to his audience that it isn't a super racist, crazy Jim Crow style society, and wants to show how beautiful, multicultural, and free it feels. In Donna versus Joey Grossefa, Justin Moldoni versus Blake Lively, Ethan says, is there apartheid-like conditions in like the West Bank and Gaza? Absolutely, no question about it. Do the Arabs living in Israel have the full rights as a people in as all the Jews living in Israel? They do. They have the full same amount of rights, 2 million of them, living in harmony in Israel, with Jewish people coexisting together, working together besides each other, serving in government, serving in public office, sitting on their Senate. Like this idea that they're just walking around like they're second-class citizens in like Tel Aviv or something, it's just ridiculous. And that's obviously not true. And then he shares atrocity propaganda as well. The other thing that I think is funny is Ethan Klein will say, oh, you don't like my wife serving in the IOF? Well, why don't you not pay your taxes? Because you say that serving in your government or participating in your government that's doing a genocide means that you support that genocide. So why don't you stop participating in the government? Which is a complete false conflation between being a soldier that's used to maintain an apartheid state and simply existing in society and not like choosing to be put in prison for the rest of your life. Like that's a complete false conflation. And if Ethan Klein actually believes that paying taxes supports genocide, then he would be a genocide supporter by his own words because he pays taxes. And if he doesn't believe that paying taxes supports genocide, by his own conflation, he would also not believe that serving in the IOF in Israel doesn't support genocide. And if he's saying that being a soldier that's in current genocide doesn't support genocide, that's denying, that's like at the best denying a genocide, at the worst like being in favor of the genocide and running defense for it. So like he's in using that false conflation, he is supporting genocide just there. So he is a genocide supporter, at least by Noah Samsen's definition. And so once again, like this whole idea that he's suing Noah Samsen for something is completely ridiculous. He has no standing whatsoever.
I think you are. In the meantime, I want to recommend an excellent video that popped up on my feed. Just popped up on my feed, guys. Whose coverage is relevant and it's inspiring for those who care about Palestine. So, good luck out there, Noah. You're gonna need it. What's the
Guys, I have seen Chris Kunzler's content on TikTok. The guy is so obnoxious to me. I'm sorry, like just the way he talks. Ethan Klein has said that Israel fucking sucks or it fucking rules, but actually Israel's a shithole. Now join me as we examine this claim from Ethan Klein. Like, I can't watch that shit, dude. Yeah, what do you, how is this like a fucking 10-minute segment? Okay, I'm skipping it to like 1.5 times speed. This is ridiculous.
Keemstar drop?
Good luck, Ethan.
You're gonna need it.
Because you're gonna fucking need it.
Should I watch his YouTube video? The thing is, I don't think like is it gonna show me something that I don't know already? Like I feel like it's a great YouTube video. I just don't know if I need to watch it on my channel. Maybe I'll watch it like by myself and see if I should watch it on the channel.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise. Noah is promoting Ethan Zionist confirmed. By the way, I can't get over it, man. It's just so easy to get views on YouTube right now by using my name. I'm pretty sure this channel, it popped up on the subreddit. His normal videos get like 200 views. And then all of a sudden, this guy's, he's an expert on Zionism and Israel history. And now he's got 80,000 views, probably his most viewed video by far. But anyway, Noah, listen. Listen. Don't let other people speak for you. God, your haircut looks dumb. You know who he reminds me of?
Nah, dude. It's. I think it's just. He doesn't need an actor. I think it's just. I think it's TikTok. Like I think it's a remnant of TikTok coming into YouTube. I think it's just like you need that kind of like aggressive in your face type of delivery for TikTok. But maybe I don't know. Did he tone it down? But he's I do it for free. Yeah, we need to have a fucking like narrator competition for Chris Kunzler's channel, for his YouTube channel.
Who's that NFL owner, the billionaire with the worst haircut ever, the redhead guy?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What's his name?
Isn't it a basketball team owner?
It might be basketball. You know, I was just gonna show up. Red-headed billionaire with terrible haircut.
Oh my god. Does anything? Okay, he's done about Noah Samsen then. Holy shit. Okay. Okay, this is what I wanted to watch. This is so funny.
Disagree. We had a really strong bond. Flashed out at me. We had a disagreement.
What's he mad about?
I think that he just
Wait.
gets upset because we did once work together.
Yeah.
Or I once was disagreements.
Believe a word this guy says.
Whoa.
I thought
Brad's trying to like.
This isn't what I wanted to watch. Wanted to find where he talked about Hassan because it was so funny. Scumbag. Evil. All right, where is this part? Where does this guy leave? It was like right at the end. Yeah, this is... All right, where does this motherfucker go?
I don't play it at all.
Okay.
We should play
If
heads
you're
up.
used to playing on controller, it's
Fun. Heads up.
To come for a week. So your stream.
On Twitch?
By
Bro, he streams with his shirt off?
that
Anytime.
I'm gonna have to do this. Ethan's black hair gives me both the sense that he's in blackface and he's perpetually caked in soot. Oh my god. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Alright, I'm gonna have to find this later. I wonder, like, did they fucking cut it out? He was talking about Hassan. It's crazy. Oh god, what the fuck is that shit? Alright, well, we can find that later. Well, I was listening to a bit about this today. I wanted to see where he actually, like... Oh, maybe this was the part about Hassan.
But we'll figure something out.
piece of shit that spent the last like.
Oh yeah, this
I'm gonna
part.
do it again. I didn't know it was such a big deal that I peed on cement.
That's true.
Maybe you get over it, bro.
Not just that.
Fuck.
Hold on, what was that? The first sound.
In the smile on that guy's face. My name on your fence, so he didn't really stop.
Okay, so did Steiny call Hassan before this? Because I kind of want to do this in chronological order. Let me look this up. Hassan, Steiny, call. Do you think Klein's situation just escalated? Maybe
It's not that. It's not that I'm shocked.
this is like sun. Oh my god! Thank you so much, Sunset Beats. Great name, by the way. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted. Guys, if you want a subscription to get early access to content and, I don't know, maybe a members only stream. Maybe I'll start doing members only streams on Saturdays or something. If you want early access, please consider subscribing. It's only $1 a month. You can support me, support my editors, and we'll do some more chill streams and like maybe not just talk politics and like Ethan fucking Klein and shit like that. Okay, anyway, let's just this stream, guys, you're gonna have to forgive me. It's late at night. We're gonna have to do like a more coherent stream later. But this part was so funny because this is peak projection from Ethan Klein. It just when Ethan Klein goes on his anti-Hassan rant, just in your mind, don't take it as Ethan actually talking about Hassan. It is all applied to him. It is all projection. And it's fascinating. It's almost like his subconscious is leaking out of him at this moment. It's crazy. Let's watch.
He did actually. He told me he did know who you are.
Yeah, well, once again, dude, it won't happen again, and I apologize.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate. And there you go. I appreciate that. That's it. No problems.
All right. Any other questions? Want to look bad or what? Why don't you ask me something positive, dude?
Listen. Okay, try.
Like, yo, how is yours and Steve's relationships now? Oh, it's really great, H3. You know, after the podcast, we mended the relationship. Since you didn't watch the whole thing, it ended very positively. We shook hands.
Okay, good.
Showed love to each other.
Good.
Something that adults do.
Okay, so did Hassan go on to what even is Steiny's podcast? It's the Full Send podcast or something? Is that what it is? Hasanabi reacts to Jinxie. Is it Nelk Boys? Is that his podcast? I thought the Nelk Boys were Australian for some reason. Hasanabi versus Andrew Tate. Full Send podcast. I don't know, man. It hasn't been released yet. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So fucking weird to make your friend not talk to someone prominent. I mean, bro, that's the thing. Like, Steiny seems like just a fucking frat bro, kind of. But it's just funny that Ethan's friends with this guy who's hanging out with like Aiden Ross and supporting Andrew Tate and like doing content with all of the worst scumbags of the last 10 years.
and
Good.
hopefully you and Hassan can do one day.
Oh, bro, you're fucking.
Okay, I need to rewind this because I wasn't like paying super close attention. So now it makes sense. So Hassan went on to, is it the Nelk? Like, is his podcast the Nelk Boys? Chat, you gotta let me know. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. So Hassan went on to the Nelk Boys podcast. It wasn't released yet, and now Ethan's pissed off that Steiny's like, I'm trying to bring you and Ethan back together when he said it to Hassan.
We mended the relationship. Since you didn't watch the whole thing, it ended very positively. We shook hands.
Okay.
But why, if it hasn't been released yet, why is he saying Ethan hasn't watched the whole thing? Like, wouldn't he say you haven't seen it yet?
What? Let me ask you something positive, dude.
Listen, okay, try.
Like, yo, how is yours and Steve's relationships now? Oh, it's really great, H3. You know, after the podcast, we mended the relationship. Since you didn't watch the whole thing, it ended very positively.
Oh, he's talking about his podcast
hands,
with Bradley
showed
Martin.
love to each other.
Good.
Something that adults do. And
Good.
hopefully you and Hassan can do one day.
Oh, bro, you are fucking with the fucking. You are literally walking with the sheep. If you were my friend.
Steiny, you don't understand it. You are a sheep. See, what you don't understand about me, Steiny, is I'm a wolf. I am the one who preys on the sheep. I am not a sheep. I've just swallowed every fucking Hasbara lie that the Times of Israel has ever put out in their entire publication since October 7th when I started reading it. But Steiny, you're the one wandering with the sheep. I am the lone wolf that goes against the flock. Oh my god, Ethan's so fucking funny. Like, and this is why I wanted to play this clip, because it is so unhinged. It is so untethered from reality that it's honestly shocking. Like, I've been watching this guy for 4 or 5 months now, and he's like slowly progressed worse and worse until you get this fucking like radical break from reality. And he's like, you're a sheep. Like, like, bro, a few weeks ago, Ethan was saying, yeah, I'd have Hassan on to talk, but I want him to watch my content, Nuke. And now Steiny is saying, maybe you and Hassan could mend relationships. And Ethan's response to that is, you're a sheep. It's so fucking funny. It's so good.
And
Good.
hopefully you and Hassan can do one day.
Oh, bro, you are fucking with the fucking. You are literally walking with the sheep. If you were my friend, listen. If you were my friend,
And maybe I'm
if you were my friend, you wouldn't even have had him on. It wouldn't even be a question.
I'm just letting you know.
Guys, if you think that's too far, don't worry, Ethan was just joking. But if you don't think that's too far, Ethan's dead serious, okay? Okay? This is the dichotomy of the Klein cult.
And maybe he fooled me, but it seems like that guy actually.
He
maybe
did fool
not
you.
At this point, maybe not at this point. It's different, but it seemed like he actually genuinely cared or cares about you.
Yeah, he did fool you. He's a psychopathic piece of shit that spent the last like year trying to destroy me.
Bro, this is the most fucking like projection ever, man. Like, saying that Hassan has spent the last year trying to destroy Ethan is crazy. Like, there's nothing in that sentence that has anything close to reality. And it's like, Hassan's like, I just can't get over it, man. I can't get over it. Like, I guess last week Ethan said Hassan spends multiple hours talking about me on his stream every day. The guy is unhinged, man. He doesn't know what's happening anymore. Like, he seriously doesn't know what's the truth anymore. And I think, once again, he's in this little echo chamber. He's surrounded by his producers, his basically paid lackeys. And this is another similarity between himself and Trump. Trump is in his own fucking little world. Trump has no idea what's happening in reality anymore. Trump didn't even know that the European Union put in place retaliatory tariffs against America. And so when Trump is like, only China was the ones that were bad boys. Only China. We only had to double down on our tariffs on China, and we got rid of tariffs on everyone else. And when a reporter is like, what about the retaliatory tariffs that the EU put on us? He's like, what? I wasn't aware of that. Like, dude, Trump and Ethan are just the fucking kings that don't wear clothes at all. And no one can say that they're in their own little la la land. Like, Ethan genuinely thinks Hassan is spending 2-3+ hours every single day trying to get Ethan Klein's career thrown down the drain. It's nuts. He is completely delusional at this point. It's actually crazy.
If you were my friend, you wouldn't even have had him on. It wouldn't even be a question.
I'm just letting you know, and maybe he fooled me, but it seems like that guy actually...
He did fool you.
At this point, maybe not at this point, it's different, but...
Also, why does Ethan think that all of these people that do podcasts with him and work for him are his friends? Like, they're literally professional podcasters. They're going on to your podcast as a fucking business move. He's not your friend, you fucking idiot.
It seemed like he actually genuinely cared or cares about you.
Yeah, he did fool you. He's a psychopathic piece of shit that spent the last year trying to destroy me. And by the way, and just lying, clipping, doing all this ridiculous shit. And that's part of his shtick, is that he shows up to other people's shit.
So once again, watching a video that Bad Empanada or Noah Samson or who else has been making videos about Ethan Klein, Comrade Casey, watching any of those videos is trying to get Ethan taken off of the internet. Like, if Ethan criticizes Hassan, it's in good faith to get him to change his behavior. But if Hassan watches any videos that are critical of Ethan, then he's a psychopath on this campaign to get Ethan banned from the internet. Once again, complete hypocrisy, complete cult brain.
Show, and like a psychopath who can perform on a high level to a
Oh yeah, and then I love this part too. This gets back to Ethan Klein's deep set insecurities that Hassan is more handsome than him. So he's like, no, Hassan just seems sweet, but he's a psychopath. Don't let that fool you.
And that's part of his shtick, is that he shows up to other people's show, and like a psychopath who can perform on a high level to charm and trick people. That's what he does. And he's explicitly said it, that he does it for the explicit purpose of running normies through into his funnel to radicalize them.
Okay, that's so funny. Yeah, once again, like, obviously Hassan's basically doing politics through osmosis. If he just appears as a normal person, maybe his politics can be picked up by people. And it's also a form of self-promotion, quite obviously. If you seem affable, amenable, entertaining, then people are going to watch your show. That's the obvious thing. Ethan Klein obviously is just unhinged and says that Hassan is trying to like do brainwashing essentially, which once again is like honestly a form of projection, because Ethan Klein and Zionism in general is a form of brainwashing, and basically he's done this whole thing with his cult too, where now his cult believes things that don't have any semblance in reality at all, where now Hassan apparently voted for Jill Stein, and Hassan wore a MAGA hat once, so he's a Trump supporter, but then he's being a hypocrite when he doesn't support Trump or when he criticizes Trump. Like or like Hassan doesn't care about Jews at all, he's actually extremely anti-Semitic. Like nothing in their community makes any sense anymore. Nothing has any semblance to the truth. The other funny thing about this is it just reeks of a situation in like the cafeteria or something at high school or middle school, where you're like, no, you're my friend, don't go sit over there with those guys. They just like, he just pretends to be cool. No, sit with me. Like they're all scumbags. Like it just reeks of that. Like, Ethan, what happened? You're not getting invited onto shows anymore? Why are you criticizing Hassan? Why are you saying it's Hassan's shtick to get invited onto all of these shows? I mean, it seems to me like you'd enjoy an invite onto these shows, and you're not really getting them. And even when you're inviting people onto your show, like Steiny and Bradley Martin, they both said, nah, I don't really want to go on that show. They're like, let's both fade the show. And you literally had to call Steiny on air and convince him to come in.
Well, he didn't get me.
Nah, he did. It sounds like he got you. It sounds like he got you. But that's okay.
Shit.
I hope it's a good
Maybe he did.
Yeah. But you know.
Bro, it's so sad, because what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Ethan? Steiny already likes Hassan. Steiny likes Hassan, and now Ethan's like, oh, well, he's trying to brainwash you. And he's like, oh, well, I guess he brainwashed me. That's not any better of a position. He likes him either way, dude. You're like, saying Hassan tries to brainwash people to like you isn't going to change the fact that they like him. They're not going to be like, oh, what? He brainwashed me? No, he just had like a 2-hour conversation with the guy. Holy shit, it's so stupid. Oh, did he actually try to brigade Hassan's Theo Von performance? It's okay, I'm 40, so it's all good is so weird. Yeah, Ethan's like, no, don't worry, guys. I'm a normal person. I have a family that I ignore. Okay, Ethan doesn't ignore his family. Sometimes he talks about them on the podcast. But it is funny. It is kind of funny that, like, they have a nanny and stuff, and yet they cite the fact that, oh, I have 3 kids, and Hassan's like he's a single bachelor that just brags about how much sex he has. Like, bro, holy shit, just fucking chill out. Just be normal, Ethan. Just follow Hassan's advice and be normal.
They say psychopaths are very charming. It's that thing. Like, on the surface, they're very charming.
Yeah, well, I know you think I don't do anything all day, but my Postmates just got here, so I'd like to go enjoy that.
What'd you get?
And, dude, at Papa John's, bro, it's my cheat day.
Papa John.
Okay, anyway, that was a hilarious rant. Is there anything else? I did want to watch not the Twitch stuff. Jordan Peterson sobbing again. I wanted to watch, did he talk about the lawsuit on Reddit at all? Or no? Steiny confronted by Steve Will Do It, calling Steiny. I don't really care about that. I think he talked about... Oh, this is just the Noah Sampson updates. Right is coping over the stock market. That was funny when Ethan was like defending Trump's tariffs. I think the last clip that I wanted to watch is when he's saying that. Yeah, I think the last clip I wanted to watch is when he's saying that, like, his company is falling apart and he's like a capitalist, which I think it was so funny. Yeah, he posted on Instagram. Cheat day for what? The guy is fat. Oh my god. Holy shit. Maybe he usually eats like 2 Papa John's pizzas. Where was the tariffs? Oh yeah, Teddy Fresh Drop and tariffs. This was kind of funny. They're like, no, my capitalist enterprise is falling apart because of the tariffs. Just once again, tariffs not good, but in the context of Ethan constantly calling Hassan a capitalist, this is pretty good.
Beautiful shirt with our bear silhouette and made out of flowers, and I think this will be a series and we'll keep it going. We'll make it out of different stuff.
Yeah.
Steiny has been infected with the Hassan mind virus. Now he's Palestine. Holy shit, man with a long last name. That's pretty fucking good. Now he's Palestine.
We have some cute ideas in the works.
I'll say this, the tariff is kind of destroying...
It's destroying everything.
Yeah.
We had a really rough meeting yesterday going over the effects of the tariffs, and it's terrible.
Well, so there's stuff there's stuff in the port in China right now that's already destined to come here.
There's a lot of stuff
that we have to pay the new tariff on.
There's a lot of stuff. We're already committed to it. It's things that are already made. We already have to bring it.
What was the old tariff, do you know? Or let me see.
Like in the 30s.
So now it's 125.
Yeah.
It's called sports.
I was listening to the news yesterday. Some woman who makes some kind of product in China. She has like $400,000 of product that she mass produced, and it's in the port ready to go. And now she owes, now that the tariff is 120%, instead of like $30,000 in duties, she owes like 150,000 in duties, and she just doesn't have the money. She can't. She's just fucked. She literally doesn't have the money.
That's not.
So she's like ruined. She's just ruined. Oh, Flor Iglesias, what's up, player? That's.
So, I mean, guys, once again, we can use this as an opportunity to talk about every single thing that the Trump administration has done that's been horrible. Cutting Social Security, cutting veterans benefits, completely slashing the EPA, slashing the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which helps consumers that have been defrauded by corporations. Just firing hundreds of thousands of federal employees, like getting rid of fucking NOAA, which looks at the weather. So now our weather forecasts are going to be more spotty. Cutting people at the FAA, so now planes are falling out of the skies. Completely cracking down on immigrant communities, deporting people to illegally to a fucking slave, like a basically like a death camp in El Salvador. Well, I guess it's not a death camp yet, but it could very easily become one. It's a work camp in El Salvador, deporting people there completely illegally, completely without any kind of due process, cracking down on people's freedom of speech at the same time as Ethan is railing against Hassan for being too pro-Palestinian. People that are speaking out against speaking out about Israel's treatment of Palestine are getting blackbagged in the streets and taken to these detention facilities where we have no idea where they are. There's no charges put against them, and then they're eventually just like tortured and then deported. Ethan Klein doesn't talk about any of this fucking shit because it doesn't affect him. But as soon as Trump does something that affects Ethan Klein, he gets all up in his feels about it. And all of a sudden, he has all of these anecdotes of people that are millionaires like him that suddenly can't do business as usual. Because now, all of a sudden, these Trump regime policies are affecting him personally. So, honestly, Ethan Klein can go fuck himself. Like, he's such a fucking diehard freedom of speech advocate, but he doesn't talk about Mahmoud Khalil. He doesn't talk about Trump's regime going through immigrants' social media and saying, if you're critical of us, you're going to get deported. He doesn't talk about people getting picked up with their kids and put into ICE detention facilities. He doesn't talk about people losing their social security checks because Elon Musk falsely asserts that they've been dead for 3 years, or you have the same name with someone else that died, so now you're not going to get your social security checks for the first time ever that they failed. It's not talking about people that are relying on the post office and the post office is going to get dissolved. It's not talking about veterans that have been fired, other hundreds of thousands of federal employees that have been fired. It doesn't talk about any of that shit. But when all of a sudden now it costs more to import your shitty Chinese clothes, now you're going to make a big fuss about it and consider building a fucking factory to make up for his business losses. Oh, I'm going to build a factory in America, but as they'll say, Trump didn't give me any subsidies to build a factory, so now I'm not going to. I thought Ethan was a capitalist, dude. I hate that the guitarist in the KETH background looks like Wenagoon. Yeah, it does kind of look like him. The YouTuber,
Really
right?
nice. Was that two separate ones or the same one?
Oh my
I
god,
don't know.
somebody said they had layoffs at work today.
Thank you, Flor Iglesias. That's so nice of you. Appreciate that so much. 50 gift.
So yeah, before the 125, it was between 25 to 40%, and it kind of ranges depending on the product or on the content of the product. But now it's up to 125.
It's kind of insane.
Which
Like,
is-
I don't know how.
It's just insane. It makes our whole business like non-functional.
Yeah.
So we are trying to figure out what we're gonna do, and then there was this whole thing of like, is it gonna last? So like nobody knows how to plan.
Yeah.
You can't change your whole business and then in a week it's gonna change back.
Yeah.
But
Pretty incredible stuff.
but everybody's trying to predict the unpredictable person, and I don't know, to me it seems like he reverted everything else, so he's gonna stick his feet on China, like
Right.
that's his battle now. So I don't think that China will revert back, and unfortunately that is majority of where we do our product.
I don't think, and by the way, it's not as easy as like switching. Like we have the whole infrastructure and factories and
No, I mean,
procedures and
it's
stuff.
been years already. I mean, on his first term, he raised the tariffs on China.
Well, people say, why don't you just do it in a different country?
So I'm going to say, we started already back then on his first term. We were starting to source everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's not easy. Like, there are countries that are used to working with really big companies, so they will not do our quantities, which are like small minimums. And that was actually the main problem that we ran into, because we tried like Turkey, we tried.
What kind of minimums do they have?
In the thousands.
Yeah.
You know? And our minimum is like
It's a big commitment.
300.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have been constantly on the lookout. We have a few new people that we have been working with, but it doesn't like make the majority for us. And unfortunately, it's really hard to replace China. Like the quality is really good. The professionalism, like their work ethic and the way they do business, they've become really professional in this business. And when you work with other countries, sometimes it's not up to par.
Well, also you work with them like a year plus ahead of time, so we're already like we have like a year of production planned out.
I do like how they're like, oh yeah, their work ethic in China is so good. Everywhere else sucks. It's also kind of interesting to point out that they're like, oh yeah, the minimums that we order is not enough in these other places. Their minimums is 300 units. That's really not that much for. I feel like that's not that much for a clothing store. 2.72 million subscribers. And you can't swing 1,000 units minimum. Like, I don't. I have no idea about like the numbers of that, but that's interesting that they let that slip
Already in China. But Trump hasn't really. We haven't seen what's actually going to happen from this because so much stuff comes from China, and with 120% tariff, I think that as this ripples through the economy, is going to have dire consequences. It is just unbelievably expensive. What's funny?
People are saying Vietnam. Vietnam is one of those with
What's
the
funny,
crazy
Dad?
minimums. Like,
It's just so I mean, we just live in absurd times. I don't know. I can't help but laugh. It's just 120% tariff.
Just overnight. No planning.
For fun.
But personally, I would like to thank the U.S. government because I got 10% off on everything here now.
Oh yeah, because the dollar dropped.
The dollar dropped and the Swedish crown is up.
Exchange
So
rate.
everything I get
There
on
you
a
go.
10% discount.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Everything
That's what I
buy
keep
here.
hearing about specifically is
Kissing my
the
ass.
dollar, like, and the bond market and all this shit going through insane, what do you call it? Lack of confidence in the.
guys. Just like the thing about Teddy Fresh though is it's not really just creator merch. Gila likes to refer to it as her like a designer brand. It's not the H3 show merch. It's its own thing. It's Gila and Ethan's company that they own. So yeah, when we're talking about like obviously this is a huge advertisement that they do on their show for it, but they want to consider it like an actual luxury designer brand that's its own brand. It's Teddy Fresh. It's not the H3 show merch. So yeah, I think for the level that they think they're operating on, 300 seems to be low to me. For like a single order of like, I don't know, pants, 300 pants. I guess that's their minimum that they want, but still. Like they're saying that a minimum of 1,000 is too high.
Economy and everything.
Not good.
Yeah, and I understand why people maybe don't necessarily believe in the United States right now.
Yeah, it's a total fucking shit show. I mean, just alone where it's like, okay, I'm running a business, and you know, businesses take lots of planning, they take lots of capital, they take a, you know, you need a roadmap, and overnight you can't just raise the cost of production like more than like four times, like 3 or 4 times, double it. It's not manageable for so many. I think there's a lot of small businesses that are going to go just under, straight up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Are these people right? Did I get it wrong? Is it 145% tariff now?
It might be.
Is that
Yeah.
what we're
He
up
keep
to?
raising it.
At this point, who knows?
It's hard to keep tabs
know?
because it keeps changing. So
Yeah, because they put one and then he did another one. It's gonna.
Also, the poor team that worked with me on this
145%,
stuff,
I think that's
every
right.
day that it changes, they have this like huge Excel sheets that they need to rework everything. It's such a nightmare for them. Yeah.
They should find some way to like self-incorporate the tariffs. Like I know sometimes Excel could change as another variable changes. But yeah, that sucks.
So that's what's happening on this side of the neck of the woods.
this side of the Atlantic.
That's right.
All our British viewers.
Yeah, it's pretty
Hello.
sad times. It's pretty sad
I
times out
haven't
here.
seen the 145. I don't know what they're talking about.
Let me ask ChatGPT.
This is what one
I'm
of
seeing
yours
sports. I'm seeing 125 everywhere.
I don't know.
What is the current tariff
It's like
on Chinese goods?
Holy fuck, bro. Like, the fact that they actually unironically use ChatGPT for research is the saddest fact about this show. It's ridiculous.
As of April, 45%.
It's just insane.
Right.
Electric vehicles have a tariff of 250%.
I love Tesla.
car.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Everything's computer.
It's mad. It's bad. So we'll see. Well, yeah, we might. I don't know what's the future of the company if this stays. I guess we can try to.
The thing is that it's already been really hard for the apparel industry before all of this.
Right.
So this is the last thing we needed. I mean like me and everybody else that I know in fashion. It's
We as Americans.
that too.
But yeah, so that's what that is. Although AB, shout out to you. We're up today. Not good news, huh?
Yeah, I have a ticker behind me now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What is that measuring? Oh, that's the S&P. Let me see it. Oh, it's switching between the Dow?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, up almost 2% today. Let's fucking go then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Sports.
Have you guys considered investing in looms?
What's that?
What's that?
Yeah, I have actually. I've considered making a factory.
Right.
And I was like, surely if Trump's doing these huge tariffs, he would have put also carrots on the table to incentivize people to build factories here to bolster manufacturing. There is
No, that sounds like fucking socialism, my friend.
That sounds like a plan. Yeah, so loom is what you use to make cotton.
No, I was being somewhat facetious, but yeah, I mean, I guess it sounds like
someone's got to do it.
You did look into it, yeah.
That was my first thought. I was like, okay, let's move manufacturing
we get
here.
zero incentives to do anything in America, but somehow we're supposed to like change everything overnight.
So just like me.
Yeah. So these guys are the ones that are criticizing Hassan for being capitalist. Ethan unironically talking about like building a factory, and like this is the difference between Hassan and Ethan. Hassan doesn't own the fucking factory. He just has like a production company working with him. I don't really know what it is. But anyway, like Ethan's literally considering building a factory. Like you can't make this shit up. But they're not going to do it because Trump isn't socializing. He's not subsidizing the Klein's factory enough. Yeah, so Ethan Klein needs our tax dollars to go fund him because of the tariffs, which is the only thing that he's talked about Trump for doing. Sales from 2 shirts within their debut collection. Piker is creating the line in collaboration with Warren James, whose CEO Kevin Ramsey tells Tube Filter that sales for Ideology could very well be the highest single day sales figures in creator brand history. He noted that 2 shirts profiting National Strikes funds raised $126,600 in first day of sales alone. Other Ideology apparel items are forthcoming, including a hoodie. Warren James develops customs merch, apparel, and e-commerce for top creators and digital properties. So yeah, I guess Hassan did it in collaboration with this company, Warren James, which James Warren politician, Warren James, which it's Warren James Inc. But like this website fucking sucks. Like what is this website? Can I shut this video off? Empowering brands through innovative creation. Our mission is to build a world where creativity knows no bounds. We strive to be the catalyst for the emergence of the great creators. Okay, whatever. Let's just look at Hassan's merch. Let's see. Oh wait, it's spelled with like an IE. Let's see if it's ugly. The Ideology merch shop. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. This shirt's not doing it for me. Chaos. All right. The thing is, I have a very poor fashion sense. As you can see, I am literally wearing just a plain white t-shirt. This is kind of cool. The Monopoly guy. Horrible. What is Hassan doing? Who's directing these photo shoots? The back is cool. Get bread, get dead. That's actually kind of cool. Yeah. And then it almost looks like a beer logo. Capitalism is voluntary. True. Kaya's in there. Skull's not bad. I like the idea behind the skull. It's a little hard to make out. Bro, why is Hassan cosplaying in all of these? It's actually, it's just like it's too cluttered. I like the vibe of it looking like a print that's been done a few times. But why does Hassan cosplay in all of these? Hassan showing off his ass in this one. The lobotomy will be televised. It's too much. It's like you have the brain with the TV, with the wires attached to a TV, and then like the hands coming over it, and then the guys holding their hands together and the peace sign, and then the whole slogan underneath. It's too much. Damaged health. Too much stuff. Internet paradise. He has a woman model. I like how Hassan's just like, no, I don't want any models except for me, unless it's like for women. Oh, I like this shirt. This is cool. This is a reference to what's that song? It's a reference to an album cover, I'm pretty sure. Get bread or get dead, America's favorite hobby. Oh, I think it's a reference to Sonic Youth. That's what it is. Sonic Youth Band. I stole my sister's boyfriend. It was all whirlwind, heat, and flash. Within a week, we killed my parents and hit the road. Yeah, Sonic Youth has some good songs. So I think it's a reference to that. I don't know what else it would be. When did he get a half shirt in the mix? Okay, what else? What else do we got? Is there anything actually good on this? Anything I would get? Like, once again, this shirt seems small for Hassan. Hoodie, camo. Himbo fitness shirt. That kind of looks cool. But I feel like I'm not buff enough to wear that shirt. I don't know. Hassan's merch store is lacking for me. Kaya has the best outfit here, and it's like the red mane that he has on it. This is probably my favorite one, like the Monopoly Man shirt. Do we dare look at the Teddy Fresh merch? Teddy Fresh. Oh, God, okay. I know I was criticizing Hassan for modeling his clothes, but I did not know that Hila would be modeling her clothes looking like fucking Die Antwoord. Like, she's really just, channeling Yolandi Visser. You have this shit, compared to... What... compared to this, like, what the fuck is happening? Like, is she trying to be Harley Quinn or something? Okay, so there's Hila's sketchbook skate deck. Like, when did they get the idea that having ugly little kid drawings on clothes looks good? Okay, whatever. Like, honestly, this shirt is the best thing they're selling, at least on this page. Nah. I mean, this is the thing, though. They do have more variety than Hassan. Like, and once again, this is like a legit clothing company, and it's not just a influencer's merchandise brand, which once again begs the question, the fact that, like, they're not doing 1,000 items minimum. Let's just do apparel. Let's look at their latest releases. Oh, this was their latest releases. Like, they just have so much more stuff than Hassan. Okay, let's wrap this shit up. So this is what I wanted to wrap it up by, just like looking at a bit of Hassan's reaction to this. And then we're just gonna fold it up. I want to see if Hassan has anything interesting to add.
Redditors is real. Ethan confirmed it. That honestly surprised you? Yes. And from his lawyer. No. That letter is real? The letter that this lawyer sent to random anonymous Redditors is real. Ethan confirmed it. That honestly surprised you? Yes. And not because of, like, the depravity of Ethan Klein. No, the reason why I'm shocked is because what fucking lawyer would write this legal mechanism of extortion? That is, let me introduce you to this dipshit. He posted a clip to Snark that we DMCA'd. That should have been it. But then filed a fraudulent counter notification to bring the video back up, thereby forcing our hand to enforce our IP. We got his email address from the forum, and subsequently, with very little work, his real ID, I will be suing him, but he needs to get in line. He's very low priority, but we have in 3 years to sue. Plenty of time. By the way, dude, 8 years in university, please, bro, get a job. As someone studying accounting and finance, I think you'd have a better sense of risk management. Oh, well, some lessons come free in proverbial sense. It will cost you quite a bit. Hope the 15-minute of clout from Snark was worth it. You're doing the tweet. You never believe us? Yeah, I saw this earlier. Chatter, Hassan tells a completely true story about Ethan. What? That's not true. I don't believe you. He wouldn't do that. No, because it's so insane. And it's not because of Ethan. He's very clearly insane. He's at this stage, he's like Kanye level at his posting, okay? With seemingly no avail. Like, no one is stopping him, right? But I would have expected a fucking lawyer who wants to maintain their reputation to not tell his client to stop his client from making such a ridiculous demand. Also, why is it that everyone that defends Israel ultimately turns into, like, Rabbi Shmuley, a anti-Zionist because of their fucking output? It's shocking that he volunteered this information, that he was so petty that he would go after random fucking anonymous Reddit accounts for posting Ethan's own fucking words. Okay? And then simultaneously volunteer this information. He told Steiny if he was a real friend, he wouldn't have had you on the pod. Fuck, dude. Hey, talk with Steiny.
Okay, that was hilarious, though. If you're a real friend, you wouldn't have even had him on. Like, that was so good.
Today?
What? Why don't you ask me something positive, dude?
Listen, okay, try.
Like, yo, how is yours and Steve's relationships now? Oh, it's really great, H3. you know, after the podcast, we mended the relationship. Since you didn't watch the whole thing, it ended very positively. We shook hands.
Okay, good.
Showed love to each other.
Good.
Something that adults do. And
Good.
hopefully you and Hassan can do one day.
Oh, bro, you are fucking with the fucking. You are literally walking with the sheep. If you were my friend, listen.
I love how Ethan gets biblical with Steiny. Oh, my friend, you are walking with the sheep. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, it's such a good line. Like, I know they pounce on Vosh and they like make fun of his line where he's like, Tacoma wept when I got off of Tinder, which is a fucking good line. And Vosh said it to be funny, but Ethan's like actually purposely believing that Steiny is like a sheep walker. It's so good. Oh, my friend, you are walking with the sheep.
And hopefully you and Hassan can do one day.
Oh, bro, you are fucking with the fucking. You are literally walking with the sheep. If you were my friend, listen. If you were my friend,
Maybe I'm
if you were my friend, you wouldn't even have had him on. It wouldn't even be a question.
I'm just letting you know. And maybe he fooled me, but it seems like that guy actually.
He did fool you.
At this point, maybe not at this point. It's different, but it seemed like he actually genuinely cared or cares about you.
Yeah, he did fool you. He's a psychopathic piece of shit that spent the last like year trying to destroy me.
Yeah, that was my reaction as well.
Bro, come on, man. Come on, dude. Someone, please. Anyone that is in his vicinity that he still listens to, you have to do an intervention, dude. This is crazy. Oh my God.
And by the way, and just lying, clipping, doing all this ridiculous shit. And that's part of his shtick, is that he shows up to other people's show and
First of all, Steiny invited me. Also, I never clipped him. The only times that I looked at his clips were when he was talking shit about me. As a matter of fact, for an entire year, people would send me clips of Ethan, and I was like, bro, I don't want to fucking talk about Ethan. There's a genocide going on. I don't give a shit. That was my first deception. I tricked him into inviting me on. Yeah. Just like how you're obsessed with him, lol, lol, lol. Yeah, oh my God.
A psychopath who can perform on a high level to charm and trick people. That's what he does.
All right, man.
And he's explicitly said it, that he does it for the explicit purpose of running normies through into his funnel to radicalize them.
Well, he didn't get me.
He did. It sounds like he got you. It sounds like he got you. But that's okay.
Shit.
I hope it's a good episode. Yeah. But you know they say psychopaths are very charming. It's that thing. Like on the surface they're very charming.
Yeah, well, I know you think I don't do anything all day, but my Postmates just got here, so I'd like to go enjoy that.
What'd you get?
And dude, at Papa John's, bro, it's my cheat day.
I feel like at this point, I mean, it's projection, but it's also, God damn. I love that he thinks it's like a secret. I'm the one who volunteers this information. Like, it's not a secret that, yes, I want to pull people away from right-wing attitudes, right-wing politics. Okay? That is not a secret. You didn't find this. I volunteered it on a pod.
Yeah, but what Hassan doesn't understand is that Ethan doesn't like the fact that people like Hassan. And so he justifies the idea that people like Hassan by saying it's because Hassan's a psychopath and he's actually very charming. And so since Hassan is a very charming psychopath, that's the reason that people like him. It's not that he's actually like a nice guy and people just like the idea that he's a nice person. No, it must be because he's a psychopath and he's lying about every aspect of his life to get people into this nefarious space of improving their lives.
podcast. And I talk about it all the time. I've been interviewed by the New York Times, CNN.
Right, we're gonna skip ahead a bit
to make people more empathetic to others. That's my goal. Oopsie, I leaked it. I want people to be more empathetic to others. What is this? Hassan's content helps shift my perspective, and I'm genuinely grateful. I'm 20 for a while.
I just want to see if he has anything else to say on this.
Klein, Jesus Christ. Immediately and instantly, I ate the bait. Someone said Ethan actually volunteered this information, and I didn't even get to finish my point. My point was, it's not that I'm shocked that Ethan would do something so insane. No, not at all. I didn't believe it because I thought that a fucking lawyer that went to law school, that paid their way through college, that went and studied for the bar exam, passed the bar exam, would write such a fucking ridiculous cease and desist order, privilege of confidential settlement communication pursuant to federal rule of evidence in California Evidence Code section, where he straight up goes, hey, because you're in violation of fair use, we want you to do completely random shit that is utterly irrelevant. Although the office only received it as today, as set forth below, under no circumstances does your use of TEI's work on H3 Schnark constitute as fair use. Your 12-5-24 fraudulent counter notification constitutes misrepresentation, an opportunity for you to avoid a lawsuit for copyright infringement. And in a counter.
Wait, I didn't even see this beginning part. We are counsel for TED Entertainment. If you have counsel, please forward this correspondence. We are in receipt of your December 5th, 2024 counter notification to Reddit. Under no circumstances does your use of TEI's work on H3 Snark constitute fair use. I mean, guys, it is, let's just be honest, like, it is kind of stupid to do a counter notification. It's just, unless you're willing to, like, fight it in court, don't do it. Because the people that are submitting notifications to get your posts taken down are willing to take this to court. They actually have lawyers. So unless, like, you have a lawyer on retainer, just don't do that. Even if it does fall under fair use, just repost it. Who cares? Just repost it. The first fair use factor examines the purpose and character of your specific use of TEI's work. Takedown explained that your post does not serve a different purpose or have a different character than the original work because, 1, the title of your post, i.e. Ethan and Dan confirm posting to Snark will get you banned, did not provide any commentary, criticism, or further insight into the content of the clip. What? But merely summarizes the contents of the clip? No. But it's not, you have to change the clip. You have to change the original work. The clip isn't the original work. Once again, we read the fair use laws, and it says if you use like a small portion of the entirety of the work, that could be an example of something underneath fair use. And like, unless it, in specific circumstances, it could contain the heart of the issue, in which case it wouldn't be fair use. So it's just weird stuff. It merely summarizes the contents of the clip. There were no comments for your post, and the moderators prohibited the creation of any comments for the post, which is weird. Why would the moderators prohibit the creation of comments? But whatever, it honestly doesn't matter. Also, yeah, I found the background of this guy. So this is interesting. I couldn't find this anywhere except in a book that he contributed to. So this is on the archive. This is the book. What book? This book is called Whistleblowers, Leaks in the Media, the First Amendment and National Security. So he contributed to the book, and we have here his about the contributors. He's a California attorney who focuses on internet, media, and entertainment issues. A 2013 graduate of the University of Southern California Gould School of Law, he received the Norma Zarki Memorial Award for Excellence in Entertainment Law. After graduating, Barnissim worked with the Professor Jack Lerner at the USC Intellectual Property and Technology Law Clinic on copyright, First Amendment, and privacy issues. He co-authored an amicus brief on behalf of the International Documentary Association and Film Independent in the Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit case Garcia vs. Google. In addition, he co-authored a public comment on behalf of the visual art social networking platform DeviantArt to the Department of Commerce's Green Paper, Copyright Policy, Creativity, and Innovation in the Digital Economy. Prior to entering the law, Bar Nissam was an English teacher in Israel and the West Bank. He received his BFA in theater from Florida Atlantic University in 2002 and later served as artistic director of the film and theater production company Walking Man Productions. So, yeah, he was a teacher in the West Bank. So, according to Ethan, he would have been a valid military target. I wonder how he feels about that. And then also, apparently, like Garcia versus Google, he wrote in defense of Google, which kind of was like an Islamophobic film, apparently, in that. But yeah, the lawyer got a video named. Yeah, innocence of Muslim taken down. He does not seem like that great of a guy.
Lawsuit for copyright infringement. And in a countersuit for fucking fair use, your only option to avoid litigation is if you provide our office with all correspondence you have had with the moderators of H3 Snark. You provide our office with all the correspondence you've had with other H3 Snark users. This is literally a fucking subreddit. Like, can you imagine you posted one of my videos on a fucking subreddit, so now I own you? Like, the idea that you can do this is so crazy. It's just extortion. Imagine if you started DMCing all those clips his Snark subreddits post about you and threatening to sue random redditors in E subreddit. All those drama slop tubers who are defending E would make videos about it, dunking on you. They're all a bunch of hypocrites. Yeah, 100%. If I did...
Okay, it is just insane. And like, once again, you can, the specific articles that we read on this in terms of like extortion, like possible extortion, is you can threaten someone and you can progress towards resolving the claim. But once again, if the claim is you posted copyrighted content, asking for information about their correspondence with other Reddit users is not progressing the resolution of that claim. It's completely unhinged and in a different direction. I wanted to see this post. Hassan ranting about Ethan. Do you feel small that all your efforts seemingly have failed? Like, I wanted someone to like post the clip that we just saw. So what is this? At this point, I don't believe Hassan is genuine when he says he just wants Ethan to get better. It feels like he's intentionally leaning into the snark narrative that Ethan's mentally unwell while also trying to paint himself as an empathetic person. It's so funny. It's like, why do you... And once again, the guy's like, Hassan's being so empathetic to Ethan, but he's not genuinely empathetic. He's just lying, and that's playing into his narrative. It's the exact same shit that Ethan does with Israel, where Ethan's like, oh yeah, Israel's a genocidal country, but Hamas is making them do the genocide. Or what Mudahar said about Hassan, it was so funny, where he's like, yeah, I genuinely care about all of the dead children, but when Hassan talks about all of the dead children in Palestine, he's grifting about it. I don't... Holy shit, that Mudahar interview with Ethan was a gold mine of funny clips. He's like, I am the master parser. Someone comes parsing information and you think I'm afraid of it? No, I am the parser. I am the one who parses. And then when he's like, oh, Hassan started criticizing me for not talking about October 7th, or not talking about the genocide since October 7th. And I'm like, Hassan, this has been going on for decades at this point. I haven't talked about it for decades. He's like, oh, you criticize me for not talking about a genocide for 17 months? Well, the joke's on you, Hassan. I haven't been talking about it for decades. And then the point that I was actually trying to get to is when Mudahar said, Hassan's he's using dead children to grift. Dead children is such a serious issue. I truly care about dead children, but Hassan's using them to grift. He's grifting off of dead children. So it's like Mudahar, the guy who never talks about dead children, is grifting, or is not grifting off of them and sincerely cares about them, by not talking about them. Hassan, who according to Mudahar doesn't care about them, but he's talking about them every single day, is grifting off of them because he's talking about them. And then, like, holy shit, I don't believe Hassan is genuine. He's like, Hassan just pretends to be empathetic, but he's actually just like an asshole who's not genuine and just pretending when he says he wants Ethan to get better. He's like, I feel like Hassan doesn't want Ethan to get better when he says, I want Ethan to get better. Okay, just, all right, I have to end this stream, but I just need to go through this last comment. At this point, I don't believe Hassan is genuine when he says he just wants Ethan to get better. It feels like he's intentionally leaning into the snark narrative that Ethan's mentally unwell, while also trying to paint himself as an empathetic person. There's so much shit he's done over the past year that you'd have to ignore for this narrative to make any sense. Pretending that he hates and has always hated Teddy Fresh when we've seen him countless times ask for tons of free... Bro, they can't give this up. This was a personal insult to them. Once again, this is an attack on their cult. Lying about not having time to watch the nuke. Oh my god. Bro. What the fuck does it matter? Like, what does it matter? He's seen so much of the nuke. Why do you care? It's like, oh, but he didn't watch the actual nuke in its entirety in one sit down. Platforming bad empanada, a genuine psycho and pathological liar with a hate boner for Ethan. Okay, whatever. Knowingly spreading the false narrative that Ethan's afraid to debate him when Hassan knows he has a standing invitation to a debate if he just watches or admits to watching the nuke. Oh my god. Bro, these people are grasping at straws, man. Obsessively spreading the narrative, false, but who knows if he's just paranoid or knowingly lying that Destiny and Ethan are collaborating. Oh my god, dude, these people are so fucking stupid. Ethan's regurgitating the same talking points Destiny uses against Hassan. That's literally the beginning and end of it. He's literally also used clips from Destiny's community that Destiny's community have provided to Ethan Klein. Constantly lying that Ethan left Twitter, a platform owned. Constantly lying? He said that Ethan Klein can't be on Twitter because he's gonna get harassed in the comments. Constantly lying that Ethan's afraid of criticism in general when Ethan literally watches in response to takedown videos on stream. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Like, he really just doesn't do that. Or if he does, he just makes fun of the videos the entire time and doesn't actually understand what they're saying. But Hassan really actually wants Ethan to get better, guys. He only pushed for conspiracy. Yeah, maybe he should pay for a fucking therapist. Maybe that would prove that he wants Ethan to get better. Get fucked, you disingenuous douchebag. All right. I think we can end it there. Oh, holy shit. This is so ridiculous. This is such a stupid situation. But it's funny. It's funny. So anyway, guys, yeah, this was a stupid stream to do to start so late, so I'm gonna be fucked tomorrow, but I'm gonna let you guys go to sleep. Thank you for everyone that subscribed to premium. Thank you for everyone that donated a sub and just participating in chat, even if you didn't pay me anything. I'm just super happy to have you here. Just watch me like freak out and rant about this shit. Like, I'd be doing this anyway, even if I didn't have a camera running. So it's fun for me to do. It's fun to see you guys engaging in chat. And yeah, for the rest of this weekend, I'm going to try to not focus on, I don't know, maybe I'm going to like keep working on this fucking, cease and desist letter just because I find it so funny. But the whole thing is so ridiculous. Holy shit. Anyway, guys, have a good night. I'm going to go and I'll talk to you later. Stay safe, everyone, and peace.